Welcome back to the channel, folks. This is the Total Movie Recall live stream episode number 9, I think it is. Almost in double figures, boys. We made it! Woo!
Still on the air.
Yeah, man, still on the air, still going. But yeah, full house tonight. Wasn't expecting Badger to be on the stream, but he's made it just in time. Yes, son. Badger, how the hell are you, my friend?
Always jiggy in the world, Mr. Herbajero, my good sir. Yeah, man, I'm doing cool, buddy. Yeah, just started episode 1 of Fallout. Digging it so far. I'm liking it so far. And also, I'm just letting you guys know, I'm currently wearing socks, this hat, t-shirt, no underpants whatsoever. You guys didn't need to know that, but I still wanted to let you guys know that's something you can't unknow now. It's just in your head. And that's that. I did that to you. I'm in control. Next one.
I expected nothing less.
And as you can tell, I've already started the stream off to a good one right there.
I just back. Cool. It's definitely back.
Yeah, man. Paul, how are you, my friend? How are you doing?
Yes, okay? very well, man. Glad to be here. I'm gutted I missed the last one. You guys did. I watched it, but I was very sick and couldn't attend. Great discussion on the Aliens movies. Gutted I couldn't be a part of it because I love that franchise. Great discussion between you three, though, because all three you had very different opinions. Ellis, big fan. Andy, casual, so you had different views. Yeah. We had Badger up there praising Alien 3, which I love that. You know, because it needs fans. But yeah, great discussion. I love listening to it. Gutted I wasn't part of it, but I'm pretty sure we'll talk more about aliens once like Romulus pops around. So I'm good.
You sure will. Andy, how are you doing, my friend? How's it going this week?
Yeah, good mate. It's been a productive week work-wise. I definitely have pants on, just seeing as we're covering.
All right, good.
On who doesn't? So I've got pants on, just in case anyone's wondering. But no, it's been good. I've been getting through a lot of movies. I've been kind of like, in fact, Badger, I'm glad you're on because I was a bit gutted because I've been watching a lot of grounded drama, and I was like, oh, I'll have a chat with us about Badger on the stream, and then it seemed like you weren't going to make it. So I'm glad you're here. So I've watched some films that I bet you have seen and like, but I watched Blue Valentine, which is pretty depressing, but probably the most bittersweet, beautiful, romantic film I've ever seen. Ryan Gosling, Michelle Williams. And then last night I watched a film called Tyrannosaur, which was Paddy Considine's feature debut film, written and directed by Paddy Considine. Right up your street, mate. Kind of working class, gritty drama, but just really good. Big twist at the end, but I didn't see coming as well.
Yeah, me neither.
I've been watching a lot of kind of grounded stuff. I think I needed to after seeing Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong, as much I enjoyed, but weirdly, subconsciously, I went on a kind of like bit of a kind of gritty, serious drama binge after that. So,
you got to balance it out, man.
Yeah, Tyrannosaur's amazing, man. Amazing film.
I felt like I needed to watch Schindler's List after watching Godzilla Kong, man. Jesus Christ! You know what? Listen, man. Listen, yous have known me, man. I love my big sci-fi leave your brain at the door movies, man. But even I left that film like, what the fuck have I just sat through, man? That just nonsense. 2 hours of nonsense.
No spoilers. I was well aware at one point when I was watching. I watched it on my own in the afternoon, straight out of work. So I was like still in my work uniform, watching this movie. And then there's a point where like there's the anti-gravity things happens, and it's just madness. It's like washing machine.
I was just watching these
baby Kong. There's stuff flying all over the place.
And then it kept going to these people.
I'm a grown man taking time at my phone.
I was like, yeah, fine. Kongzilla fight, and then it just cut to these boring humans talking about temples and fucking prophecies and shit. I was like, what am I watching?
So, in other words, so this isn't going to be like one of those epic films that I'm going to enjoy. Then it's not going to make me like, oh yeah, I see why I don't like those films. Then
I don't think so, Badger.
I have been saying a lot though. I feel with me at the moment, there's a time before Dune 2 and a time after it, because nothing's hitting for me at the moment since Dune 2. Nothing is hitting me, and I'm walking out of movies like, trying to convince himself I liked them. Like, yeah, it's actually shit, to be fair.
Yeah.
Civil War to come, though, lads. Civil War's
Oh, I'm
looking
excited for
donkeys,
Civil
I'm
War.
excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued for that Abigail horror film that's coming out in 2 weeks. I think it's coming out.
Oh yeah, the vampire one.
Yeah, that's been getting really good reviews.
Yeah, I seen the trailer for that the other day, when we went to see Monkey Man. It looks pretty good. That just sort of classic vampire horror film. Bit of me, yeah, definitely. But right, folks, we've got a bit of a stacked show as far as news stories go. About 19 hours ago, there was a trailer that just released. Speak No Evil. Badger, did you have a chance to watch this trailer by any chance?
No, sir, but I did hear a lot about it. I did some research on it today, and yeah, it's a remake, isn't it, of a film that came out 2 years ago, Spanish film or something, isn't it? Spanish.
Yeah, this is the only reason I'm really bringing this up now. As far as the trailer goes, like, don't get me wrong, folks. This trailer, it looked pretty good. Like, watched it before the stream, had no idea they were actually remaking this film. But yeah, it's a remake of a film that came out no less than 2 years ago, believe it or not, which just sort of blows my mind a little bit. This sort of reminds me of the same thing as The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, that obviously got remade later on down the line by David Fincher, but arguably I do really like that English remake of it.
Rack and Quarantine, same thing, within a year of each other.
Yeah,
Vanilla Sky, it was quite quick, was it not as well? Was it not a few years, Vanilla Sky?
Quite a number of years, like 4 years, I think.
4.
Still quite close though, if you think about it.
True, yeah, true.
And
absolutely.
it's, like, it's, I just find it quite bizarre. And the only reason I'm really bringing this up is if I highly recommend going and watching that foreign film. Definitely.
Never seen it.
Honestly, folks, Andy, I did speak to you a while back about this film. This was when it was more or less coming out. It was the year this film come out was the year I started doing Letterboxd and started categorizing and putting things in order and stuff like that. So this was on like my top 100 or whatever it was of the year that year, 2022, I think it was. So it was like literally a couple of years ago. But this has one of them endings a lot like Kill List, where I've mentioned that film before. It sort of leaves you at the end where you don't know whether you're disgusted or you've just seen a stroke of genius or both. Do you know what I mean? It like leaves you really just sort of like all hope is lost at the end. But I highly recommend going and watching that foreign film. I just wanted to bring it up just to highlight the fact that it only came out 2 years ago. What the hell are we remaking it for? Like, this trailer looks good nonetheless with James McAvoy and I think it's Scoot McNairy. I like that actor. The film looks good, but it looks no different from the one prior a couple of years ago. But yeah, guys, I know I sent you this trailer beforehand. It's not really about the trailer. I just want to know your thoughts on films getting remade literally 2 years after the fact. I don't know if that's just a bit of an insane. What's the logic behind it? Badger, we'll go at you first, mate. Badger, what's your thoughts on this remake that's 2 years after the fact?
Wow, I'm not really so keen on it. I'm all for remakes, by all means, of course, we all are. But as long as they do something that justifies their existence, do something different with it, that type of thing. Instead, it's just, hey, it's in English. Okay, is that it? Oh, come on, man, you got to do more than that. They did that recently with that Jake Gyllenhaal film. I can't remember its name, but I know the original film well. The one with it's not Roadhouse. Now, what was the remake? The one where he's playing as the accident and emergency line.
Oh yeah,
was it on Netflix?
Yes, it was.
It called The Call, or is that the Halle Berry one?
I don't. No, that was the Halle Berry one. That terrible bloody crap.
I know the one you mean. I just can't think of the name of it.
Well, either way, the original was absolutely fantastic, and it bloody was. It's a German film, fantastic. Less than 2 years later, they ended up remaking it with Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, Jake Gyllenhaal's great, and they made it a lot more optimistic, but still, it's just like, Jesus Christ, no need for this, no need whatsoever. So I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. It's a little bit of a mixed bag for me. What is it called? The Guilty. There we go. I was looking it up.
Yeah.
The Guilty is what it's called. I would highly recommend checking out the original. It's a bit darker, and speaking of grounded dramas and all that, it absolutely is. It's like a chamber piece. It's all set in one location throughout the whole film, and it's just the main character on the phone, and it's a German film. Bloody fantastic. It was absolutely right up my street. Dialogue was great. It was intense. This guy, a police officer who's temporarily working as a cooperator, and he takes down one hell of a severe, terrible emergency, and he's just trying to figure it all out on the phone. Fantastic stuff. I loved it. Saw the Jake Gyllenhaal film, and I was like, this is so pointless. It's not bad. It's not a bad film, but it is pretty pointless, man. It is. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a bit iffy with it. It's a bit silly, but if I'm not mistaken, James McAvoy is in this, right?
Yeah. Have you got
the trailer? Is that him? Yeah. Well, definitely worth seeing then if he's in it. James McAvoy. That's all you need. But that's it really. Still, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. What about you? What about you guys? Anyway, sorry, I went on too long there. My bad. Go on.
That's all right. Paul, what's your thoughts and opinions on remakes getting made 5 minutes after the films come out?
I'll keep it quick, man. The reason they've done it is because is it Spanish or was it French? Was it Polish?
Mate, I should fucking know, but I don't
yeah,
know.
I should have looked. It's one of them. The reason they've made it is because that film blew up. I remember everyone going, "You need to watch it. Don't watch the trailers. Go in blind. Watch it. Don't watch nothing. Just go and watch it." It blew up in the horror community, then span into like the film community. The reason they remade it is so more people can get eyeballs on it. Yeah. Because as much as it's naivety, isn't it? Because we'll watch the foreign version because we're film fans. But there's a lot of people out there. If you watch this film, yeah, we'll do. Just to let you know, though, it is Spanish. It's got subtitles. Oh no, I don't want to watch it because they can't pay attention to a film for 2 hours. They'll just put people off. But if you go, watch this horror film, it's from America, it's a new Blumhouse film or whatever, yeah, I'll watch it. So it's naivety. They're going to bank on the fact that it was a popular horror film, but unfortunately it's from a different country. Not everyone will watch it. More people will watch this version.
Yeah, too right. Andy, what are your thoughts on this one, mate?
Yeah, I basically had I've got the same take as Paul. So at the danger of echoing what he's saying to an extent, I think he's absolutely right in that, like, no amount of campaigning, advertising can elevate the original foreign language version to into the public eye the way you can if you just make it English speaking, slap a big budget on it, and slap a known actor. That's the best way to get that story out there. Sadly, not the original interpretation of it, but that is 100% why they do that in these occasions where it comes about so quickly. And it's greedy, I think, and to an extent from the studios as well, because it's easy for them because they're like, right, this is already tried and tested. People like it. We're just going to, like, it's almost like sharing someone's video on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
We just kind of like get the views kind of thing. But I like McAvoy, and I knew nothing about this one. See, when you first sent it, Ellis, this sounds ridiculous, but I thought, why are they remaking that film with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor? Like,
speaking of the hero.
And I was like, what fucking weird joint casting call that is? James McAvoy playing like Gene Wilder. I was like, strange. And then I got it up and seen the font, and I was like, that's not a comedy. So I'm that type of guy, who knew nothing about it and needs it. Like, well, I don't need it. I would go and watch the foreign one, but yeah, I didn't even know that this film was a successful foreign language film. So that kind of proves the point of it, giving it that kind of wider scope. So I'll check it out. I only got halfway through the trailer and I had to go and change someone's bum in the house.
I thought you were going to say to put pants on then.
What have I done?
So I didn't get back. I got to the point where he was feeding her the turkey or whatever it was. Yeah, I love McAvoy. So, and I like the fact that it looks like it's coming back. It looks like it's maybe set in Scotland and his home. So it's interesting.
I will quickly say, after I watched that trailer, I went on Twitter and somebody reshared it saying, if you want to see this story fresh, don't watch this trailer. So I was like, shit.
Oh
no. I backed out halfway through it. I've already seen the bloody movie. But Yeah, Badger.
I was just gonna say the real big, the bigger, huge foreign films. They don't usually get remade, to my knowledge, do they? Like Battle Royale, hugely popular. There's no American remake of that, unless you count Hunger Games, but that's a different story. Recently, we did get that remarkable drama though, Parasite. That was just remarkable. I can't imagine a bloody American remake of that, but thankfully, I guess there's no need because of how popular that film was. So yeah, I guess Andy and Paul, I guess you guys nailed it there. Absolutely, yeah. I guess they didn't feel the need to because it was spread around enough, I guess, and maybe so.
Did you ever see that remake of Old Boy that Spike Lee
That's the
did?
only one I've seen.
Yeah. That's a
liked it,
one.
that's because I hadn't seen the original, but
I have only ever seen the remake of The Ring. I've never seen the original Japanese one.
Oh, actually, yeah, I'm in the same boat with that one. With that one, I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
So maybe, I'm throwing out naivety into the story, and I've done it myself. So you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Right, guys. We're going to move on to our next little story here. We've got some comments, actually. We'll just get to them. Scottish Geek Guy. Howdy, folks. How's it going, Jim?
How's it going, man?
Jimmy?
Loved your review of Civil War, brother.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
Isn't this film come out next week? How's everyone seen this so early?
It comes out tomorrow.
There's been a few special previews. There's some places have done previews on Tuesday and tonight.
No, they saw his hair and they were like, "Look, just come on in, dude. You're allowed to. Just come on in, buddy." I'm jealous of that guy's hair. Scottish Geek Guy, man, you're a legend.
Yeah, we've got Jordan in the chat as well, just saying he's off to see Civil War tonight, so we'll catch the replay. Have a great stream. Question for the Joker part. Fave Joker quote from any Joker.
Oh, man, I'll be doing plenty of Joker quotes when we get to that.
We'll get to that bit. Don't worry about it. Right, okay. Oh, yeah, and Scottish Geek Guys just got some comments on the Ring remake. Ring remake is good, but not a patch on the OG. I haven't seen the OG, so I can't really comment on that one. Old by remake.
Old boy remake. Yeah.
You're just saying, Civil War at Cineworld member preview. Nice.
It was on Tuesday. I think they did a special screening of it on Tuesday at Cineworld. So I don't know if view cinema chain. Sort your crack out, man. You need to sort it out. Right, guys. Next story. Badger, this one is specifically for you. Well,
I'll try not to make it quick. I'll try to make it quick. Sorry,
right.
Go on.
Okay. We are getting a remake of the beloved classic horror film from 1999, I think it is, the Blair Witch Project. So, yes, yeah. I don't know whether you're going to be into this, Badger, or not. So, Jason Blum from Blumhouse Pictures, yeah,
my best friend.
This is the thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, you're remaking the Blair Witch Project. Okay, right. I'll have a look at that. Oh, it's Blumhouse. Shit. Well, you just may as well just chuck a coin in the air. It's a 50-50 chance of whether it's going to be a big bag of shite or it's going to be all right. But yeah, so we've got horror maestro Jason Blum is reviving the Blair Witch Project for Lionsgate. Maestro, sorry. But yeah, really, I just want to get your thoughts and opinions on this. As far as the Blair Witch Project goes, it's unfortunately not one of my favorites. I think I saw it after the fact. I wasn't caught up in the hype of the film when it was coming out. I think this is one of them situations where the hype and the lore surrounding the film sort of makes the film a little bit better. In my opinion.
Totally agree. Yeah.
It's lightning in the bottle. Sort of.
Yeah, totally. I am in the rare camp of I do like the Blair Witch Project film that we got a couple of years back. I think it was 2016. Yep. I'm one of those people, folks. It was Adam Wingard, actually, Paul, who directed that one. You know, Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
It was
says it all.
Explains a lot.
Yeah. I was trying to get Paul in the mood for this film, man. That's all. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to say about this one. I don't know what you can do with a Blair Witch Project in 2024. If I'm being honest, like everything's surveillance now. So it's like the fact that someone would just take, I don't know, the cell phone into a woods. It's just like, are we sort of doing this? But
it's going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on TikTok.
That's the whole. The whole film will just be in 15 seconds.
Yeah. Scrolling up.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't do this to me, Alan. Don't do this to me, Paul. Sorry, don't do this to me, Paul. That's like the worst idea ever, but it might happen. You can't do that to me, babe, man. Don't do it.
So yeah, like I said, I was a fan of that 2016 film. I like the ending of the film. It gets really out there. The ending of that film is the ending I want in the OG film, if you know what I'm saying. So, you know, when you get the ending, then it's the person in the room. But that remake or sequel, whatever you want to call it, really takes that baton and like runs with it at the end for better or worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul.
Yes, I'm glad you went to me first.
Blair Witch Project. Are you night one for this? Yeah.
Get on this. I rewatched Blair Witch Project on Saturday night.
No.
So it's right fresh. So obviously WrestleMania was on Saturday night. It's on at midnight, and my missus went to bed about 10 o'clock. And I was like, I'm staying up to watch WrestleMania. I was just scrolling through something to keep me going till midnight, and Blair Witch was on BBC 3, I think. It was about 10 minutes in, but I've seen it enough times so I know how it starts. So I thought, I haven't seen this in years, I'll watch it. Now, I was on my own. Mrs. had gone to bed, sat on my own, sort of watching it, but I was on my phone. But then I thought, right, no, I'm going to watch it. I'll put my phone down. I'm going to watch it properly. So I dimmed the lights a bit, turned the surround sound up. This film still works. This film still absolutely works. And now I've got a bit of an active imagination when it comes to horror. So it's a sort of a Marmite film where if you've got an active imagination that works to your advantage with this film, you'll have more fun with it. If you're one of them people who sort of push back against it, like nothing even happens in it, it's not even scary, you're going to get nothing out of it whatsoever. But like I said, I've got a bit of an active imagination, so I sort of roll with what they're trying to do in the film, and I sort of really get invested with it. It's freaked me out. I literally finished watching it. And I went to go to the toilet. My missus was still in bed on her phone. I just popped my head in and went, I shouldn't have fucking watched that on my own. But there was a bit, there's a certain scene in it where the group is in like a tent and the whatever entities rattling it, and you hear children laughing outside the tent. Now I've got like surround sound, so I've got like speakers behind my couch, and you could hear the girl, like little kids laughing behind her. Freaked me the fuck out.
Oh man,
it's a really effective film for me, I think. But it is lightning in the bottle. It's something. Maybe because I grew up with it, I could sort of take myself back to the time when it did release, because I was all on board. I was the right age for it, the right time, where everyone, we didn't have the internet really then, so everyone thought it was real, or at least a dramatization of what it, a realistic event that happened. And so I bought all into that as well at the time. A remake now, I didn't like the remake they did in 2016. In fact, I fell asleep watching it. And I don't really fall asleep watching films, but I distinctly remember falling asleep watching the Blair Witch remake, because it felt so corporate, that movie, whereas the original feels so indie and so organic and imaginative, and the group of people who put our film together was so clever for the time it come out and that. And so another remake now, like,
it's not a remake though. The 2016 one was a sequel, brother.
But that's the one when they actually show you the witch and shit at the end. They're spoilers for the Blair Witch, whatever it is, sequel. The original one's more about not what you can see, imagination. Whereas this one's like, here's the fucking thing that was chasing them. So what they're going to do now, I do think it will be like, it's a huge, we've got movies like, what are these films that are coming out where they're online and the fucking killer's stalking them? These, what they call like Missing and all this.
Oh, we just lost your sound there, Paul. 2 seconds.
Paul, you're gone, buddy.
Is he talking about a type of new genre of films that's to do with kind of the dangers of online?
I'm not sure.
My Little Eye? I don't know. It sounds like My Little Eye, what he's described.
Hard candy,
back,
that
Paul?
kind of film.
I'm back.
Are you back? What are these weird little internet videos you've been watching?
No, do you know these films? There's a few films that have come out recently where like it's the killer online and they're all on like Zoom calls and stuff like that.
Oh, friended and stuff, right?
Yeah. I think it'll be a bit like that where it's all online, it's all on YouTube, of. I think that's the route they might go down for a new version of the Blair Witch Project. It's like that sort of. It's all on YouTube. People can comment and shit. But yeah, I don't want one. I'm happy without a remake.
Andy,
Continue.
horror. I know this is your specialty
Shock horror. I have never seen this film, and I've got absolutely no intention of watching it either. I feel like I have seen it though because I grew up like I'm kind of same age as Paul, so I was at that kind of impressionable age when this was becoming a bit of a sensation in the media. There was that debate. Where it was kind of like, is this real? Is this found footage, or what is it? We certainly in Europe and stuff in the West, I don't think we'd seen many mainstream kind of found footage films, which off the back of this became like 10 a penny. But no, I get it, and I think like you, I've got an overactive imagination. That's why I don't watch a lot of horrors because it's me who scares. I do the scaring, not the film. I scare myself basically with what I do to myself in my head. And this film is all about that. My understanding is that this film is all about that. It's like it's what you'll bring to it, and I know what I'll bring to it, so I'm not going to watch it. But so I don't mind. Like it doesn't really. I don't get precious about horror, and no, I don't really get precious about remakes in general. But I think you're right. It's an essence film. It was lightning in a bottle, like Paul says. It was all about. It was before the days of kind of internet was readily available. So I think, rather than go down the route of, give us something polished, I think they have to try and capture that same organic kind of like, they have to capture the essence, but I think they have to completely, in order to do that, they have to bring it into 2024, a modern format, modern techniques, but do the same thing, put it in a different location, but have it be the same kind of movie where it's more about what you don't see and it's more about what your own subconscious brings to it.
Yeah. Got a Scottish Geek guy in the chat just with a few comments about this one. He says, I remember seeing Blair Witch in the cinema, that ending, and the fact that there was no credits at the end. Creepy as fuck. Yeah, man.
Yeah, there are. Oh, actually, I think it depends on what version you saw, but yeah. Okay, fair.
What's that? Mania was epic this year.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, Mania this year was epic. Shed a tear at night 2. Yeah, man. I think night 2 was definitely the winner of the weekend. Yeah, we've just got a Scottish Geek guy saying he's talking about Unfriended. Yep, that's a one. Oh, fuck badges, the Thing video. It's epic. We will be doing that.
Thank you, brother. Very sweet. Thank you, man. Thanks for your comment on that, bad boy.
I've watched a good chunk of it, Badge, but I need to finish it. That's why I've not commented on it. But it's your usual. Thank
you, man.
Your usual epic standard, mate.
Thank you, man. Very kind.
Right, guys, we've got another little quick one here. So I had no idea. There's a couple of Frankenstein movies coming out in the next couple of years. We've got one from Maggie Gyllenhaal, and we've got one from Guillermo del Toro as well coming out later.
I know which one I'll be watching first.
Right, well, we've got some new images from the Maggie Gyllenhaal version, and Jesus.
Is this the Bale one?
Yeah, this is the Bale one. So
I feel like they've gone through David Ayer's scrapbook.
Oh my God, what is going on with this? Right, anyway, so I'll just get these images up, folks. Give me 2 seconds.
Come on, look at this. This is the new album from G-Yeezy coming out. We're going to see shortly.
I'm in the woods with no crumbs here, guys. I don't know what's going on.
All right, here we go.
Wait for this picture, man.
Oh my God, what the hell's going on?
Oh, wait.
Fucking Calvin Klein shit.
I have seen this. I have.
Hey, man.
Right.
What is that?
Guys, you've just got to, like, what's the tattoos all about, man? Like, what is people's obsession these days with tattoos on these characters? Started off with
Frankenstein just go to a tat store.
yeah. He says, "Oh, I got this little bit of arm from Terry down the road, but he had this tiger tattoo. Can you just fill it in?" But right. Sorry. Where's he getting the tattoos from, though? Do you know what I mean? They'll be like half completed, or he'll have like fear on his chest or whatever. Then it'll be like half cut off with a tiger or something. I don't know.
It's on the dead. I'm assuming it's the dead body. Guy got tattooed, died, and got brought back. I guess, right? That's what they're trying to say.
So, guys,
stop making it make sense, Badger.
Mate. we now need to form the super group, don't we? With Jared Leto, Bill Skarsgård as the Crow, and now Christian Bale. We need them in some sort of super group band, K-pop band or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But
what are the kids listening to?
Whatever the kids are listening to. Yeah, probably trap. But yeah, man. I don't really know what to say about this one, folks. I just wanted to get Christian Bale up. Have a bit of a laugh at his expense. I don't know what
this chick looks like a Parker pen capsules burst in her mouth.
Been chewing on them big pens all day, mate. It's cool. That's what it is. But yeah, so Bale's take on the monster retains the classic head stitches, but he also seems to be sporting some tattoos, which has brought some comparisons to Jared Leto's damaged Joker from Suicide Squad. Yeah, I just don't know what all these people are thinking. They're obviously watching. David Ayer's Suicide Squad is obviously in high regard in Hollywood that we had no idea about. Do you know what I mean? Audiences hate it, but these A-list actors and directors and whatnot seem,
David Ayer was onto something.
It was really misunderstood masterpiece, that, wasn't it? But no, absolutely not. The story sees a lonely Frankenstein travel to 1930s Chicago to seek the aid of Dr. Euphorianus, I can't say that, in creating a companion for himself. The two reinvigorate a murdered young woman, and the bride is born. She is beyond what either of them intended, igniting a compulsive, I can't say that, what the hell, romance. The attention of the combustible, thank you, Badger, and wild and radical social movement. So, yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal, screen tests for Frankenstein. Paul, what do we think about MC Christian Bale?
I'll take. Yeah, right. Let's professional movie fan now. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to presume it's sort of a modern spin on the classic Frankenstein tale.
Yeah.
But it's set in the 1930s, which could be cool. So it'll have that sort of, I don't know, like smooth criminal gangster shit going on. Maybe that sort of. Is that the 30s?
Yeah.
That Al Capone sort of shit going on. I've no idea though. I've no clue. I've not really got much interest in it yet. Trailer could completely change that. When I think of Frankenstein, I think of the classic Universal monster one. I'd much prefer to see a remake of that. We're getting Wolfman from Lee Winnell in a year next year, which I'm a lot more excited for. Yeah, he obviously did The Invisible Man. He's now doing Wolfman. Yeah, I'm more excited for that. I don't know. I'm not going to ramble on. I haven't got really much to say. I don't know what they're going for here, but I might change my tune once the trailer comes out.
I just thought Christian Bale's look was quite interesting and worth chatting about. But Andy, any thoughts and opinions on this one? Frankenstein from Warner Brothers, not Universal actually. So Warner Brothers looks like they've got the rights to this one. But yeah, Andy.
Not really. It's not something I'm excited about. I like Christian Bale. I like Maggie Gyllenhaal. I don't think I've seen. This isn't a first.
I didn't know she was a director, to be honest. I don't know if she's directed anything else.
I think this is a directional. Oh, I thought they were sort of promoting this as a first direction debut. It could be wrong.
Maybe. I've got a sneaky feeling she's done something else, but
okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's one of those ones. Maybe when the trailer drops and stuff, it'll pique my interest, but it's not something that I'm overly thinking about. As far as the look goes, I know we've had a laugh about it, but it is different. But it's so it should be. How many versions of Frankenstein have we got already committed to film? You know, like if you're going to do something, I'm always of the mindset of if you're going to remake or revisit anything that has like any kind of legacy, be bold. Don't sit in the fence. You know, be original with it. So fair enough.
Yeah, man. Badger, Frankenstein, Christian Bale. Is this one for you?
Yeah, why not? First of all, I didn't hate Suicide Squad as much as everyone else did. I thought it was just solid fun. I just got loads of
I went to the cinema 3 times to watch it.
So wait, you are a fan or not?
I like the first Suicide Squad film. It's got problems, but I get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's so flawed, but I do like it. I didn't even hate the Joker in there all that much, as disappointing as he was.
Same.
Yeah, so really I got the same kind of vibe from it. And as funny as it is, because he looks like a mad hipster, I still think it could work. I was very confused though. 1930s Chicago. I didn't know it was the 30s because he looks like modernized the fuck.
Yeah, that is what I'm confused about as well, Badger, to be honest.
Modernized the fuck.
Okay, well, either way, it's probably going to work. I mean, it's Christian Bale at the end of the day. He's going to pull it off. God bless him. Let him do his thing. That's
it. It's the only reason why I'm sort of hyped for this is just Christian Bale. That's it.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. So
some films come along where you're like, this actor's so prolific that he's seen something here that he's got him excited. So that in turn should get us excited as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about Venom?
That's true. That's true.
Even though I like it, but it's still messed up.
Let's not talk about Venom.
Right, guys. Next story. I think we'll all be a bit more excited about this. Well, Badger might not be, but next story. Denis Villeneuve has been greenlit for Dune Messiah. So I think we all knew this was gonna be a thing, and it was gonna be greenlit. But I had it in my head from the way Denis Villeneuve was doing his interview rounds and press tour for Dune 2 that he was going to be having a bit of a substantial break, maybe doing a film or 2 films in between Dune Messiah. But it's been greenlit, and I think he's been offered another film as well, interestingly enough. And the subject matter of this film that he's been, circling around maybe directing is all to do with nuclear war, but we'll just have a look at this story here. Denis Villeneuve's third Dune movie is officially in the works. It says here, sometimes dreams do come true. That's as true for Paul Atreides as it is for Denis Villeneuve, who now gets to make his third Dune movie. Legendary confirmed on Thursday that they are currently developing a third movie in the sci-fi franchise based on Frank Herbert's original novels, and are also in talks with Villeneuve to adapt Annie Jacobson's non-fiction book Nuclear War, a scenario after Dune 3. So that one sounds quite interesting, boys, if I don't say so myself. But I will say it's also very close to what our boy Chrissy Nolan's just done with Oppenheimer. So, this is the growing friendship in Hollywood that us audience are now seeing blossom. I wonder how many conversations they've had about, so, Denis, what are your thoughts on nuclear war? Well, interestingly enough, a lot of thoughts, because there's a film on the way that might be directing. So, guys, third Dune movie. I think we were all aware that this was going to go ahead, but it's nice to know that I think this is his next film in development. So we're going to be back in Arrakis in no time by the sounds of it. Then Nuclear War, a scenario. Sounds interesting. I'd like to see maybe he's like a modern sort of take on what a nuclear war would look like from a guy like Denis Villeneuve. But Andy, we'll go to you first for this one, mate. Dune Messiah is a go, and that is the next one off the round for Denis Villeneuve. What are your thoughts on this news, and what are your thoughts on the potential nuclear war scenario?
Yeah, it's the Dune 3 thing isn't really news, is it? Like, I think we all knew it was coming. I don't think it's a shock that that's being greenlit. But but as you know, I'm a big fan of Villeneuve and the Dune movie so far. So yeah, I think it kind of warrants a third movie. I think there's definitely, I've not finished the books or anything, but just even taking those films on their own merit, it's obvious there's another chapter. There's more to be told of Paul Atreides and his sister and whatnot. So yeah, excited for that. As far as the nuclear war thing goes, I do think that's interesting for the exact reason that you just said there, that we've nuclear war movies don't come about very often, shall we say. So there's sometimes a threat of it in a movie, but a film actually about nuclear war or bombs and like Oppenheimer was a bit unusual in that regard. So given that they're so pally now, and that's what his next feature is going to be on a very similar subject matter, that is quite strange, but it might end up working nicely, because I think you're right. I think I've got a sneaking suspicion, if I was a betting man, that it's probably going to be what life would be like were a nuclear war to happen, for the people that were left behind. So, and like, he's already done dystopian. He's done Blade Runner 2049. He's done Arrival. Arrival's not dystopian, but it's in that same kind of bleak sci-fi. So I think he's the right man for the job, and it might be a nice counterpiece, because you've got basically Oppenheimer, which is pretty much historically accurate, and it's kind of that. It takes us right up to, by the way, we're still living here today. We're right on the brink. We always have been, and it makes you come away thinking about that when you watch that film. And Villeneuve's movie could be like, and just in case you're wondering, this is what it would be like. Like this is the horrible future. So they might actually heavy watching, I would imagine, but they might work well as a pair.
Yeah, man.
And their tone and approach to filmmaking similar. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, is anyone really excited about nuclear war or a film about it? So it's not the type of thing you get super excited for, but
I am if Denis doing it.
Yeah, I'm excited at what that filmmaker does. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and obviously it's great that we're getting Dune, but I don't think that was really ever out, was it?
Badger, I know you haven't seen Dune yet, so no comment on that one really, but a nuclear war film from Denis Villeneuve, does that tickle your fancy just after, obviously we've just got Oppenheimer, so got Denis wanting to do one now. Does that interest you at all?
I am intrigued to see. Sorry?
You didn't like Oppenheimer either, so...
I respected it. I'm more bugged that I finished John Wick 4 and not Oppenheimer. That bugged me, because I take Oppenheimer over John Wick 4 any day. But yeah, I didn't hate what I saw with Oppenheimer. It was just everything that I just don't like about Christopher Nolan movies. But that's a different subject. Either way, I am intrigued to see how it will get done. We have to see. I have not seen the first two Dune films, but I will get on that this year, and I am intrigued. I'll watch both of them, and we will see.
Cool, man.
I think Paul? My mic's being a turd. Is that me?
You sound all right.
Okay, yeah, it was me. Sorry. I hope it didn't come through, but yeah, look, we'll see. But hopefully it's going to be good.
Paul, Dune Messiah, no brainer. It was always going to happen. But it is happening next.
I think it's weird that they haven't officially announced it, because I remember Warner Bros. Officially announcing Dune Part 2. You know when they put out the post for it?
Yeah. No, I think it's been up in the air, but I think it was Legendary that announced it the other day, that it was officially going ahead, because it came out with this news about the other film that he might be doing as well. Because there's been loads of confusion with the fact that I said up top about the fact that he might be doing another film after Dune Part 2, but I think he's just going straight back into Arrakis, from what I know.
Well, yeah, take my money then. Yeah, I'll be there day one. Like I said, for me this year, 2024, there was a time before Dune Part 2, and there's a time after. And I would be shocked if I see a better film than Dune Part 2 this year. Furiosa might give it a run for its money, but I'll be shocked if I see a better film than Dune Part 2 this year. For me personally, that film's a fucking masterpiece. So if he can go 3 for 3, then for me, I'll have something that rivals Star Wars original trilogy and Lord of the Rings trilogy. For me. I've recently read the first 3 Dune, the 2 books, so I sort of I've read Messiah, so I'm even more excited now because I know where the story's going. Can't wait. I'll be there day one, the same as I was for Part 2. And the fact that we'll be getting it a lot quicker, if it's literally just been they're going full steam ahead now, we might get it in the next 2 years, so that'd be cool. In terms of if Denis Villeneuve was making a frigging episode of Hollyoaks, I'd watch it, man. You know, I'll watch anything that guy can make anything, go into any genre. I'll be there day one. So if he wants to make a fucking nuclear war film, I'll be there day one for it. If you slap his name on a poster, I'm there day one. You want to make a Oppenheimer 2 with Denis Villeneuve, then I'll be there day one. That guy is proved himself time and time again. He's one of them directors that I will turn up for every single time now.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to add as well with like Oppenheimer obviously showed the very human side of the effects of war, or it didn't really dive into the aftermath and how it looked, how horrific it looked. So with Denis being such a like visual beast, I could just imagine like some really horrific. I'm just being a sick bastard here. I want to see some horrific towns and cities blown to a crisp sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think Denis, with the scale and stuff that he provides in these films, especially after the couple of Dune movies, that it could be something special, definitely. But yeah, I'd look forward to it.
Well, I think this Civil War that's coming out tomorrow, that's sort of touching on a sort of very close possibility of what could happen in the future. This could essentially do the same, but for nuclear war. It's right there. It's on your doorstep. You know, it's a scary situation. It's a tough subject matter, so it could be a very interesting film.
Yeah, man. But I think we need films like this, like to come in and like have tough subject matter. And a film like Civil War, like, doesn't get any tougher, or like at the height of, election year over there. It's putting that film out now. It's got some balls on it, but we'll see what that's like tomorrow. Right. Just before we get into the next topic, just got a few more comments here. We've already had that one. Scottish Geek guys just saying, I like the first Suicide Squad also, but defo not the worst DCEU movie. Take about Wonder Woman 84. It probably won't happen, but the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad is intriguing. Too right it is. I would have absolutely, because all that film needs, I think we'd all agree, it's just a bit of an edit, bit of a rejig. Take out the title cards for the characters and stuff like that. The awful like slapdash sort of title cards that should have been in trailers, because it was obviously like it was the trailer.
I quite like that.
I think the first 20 minutes is the best part of the film.
Yeah.
My god, no way.
It's I like it. They do that in the comic book, so it's sort of, I like that.
Go and check that first Suicide Squad trailer out. Total, that was the tone he was going for that showed at comic.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
mint trailer. Scottish Geek guy. I won't comment on a third Dune movie. Why not, eh? Why not?
Because he's like the only guy in
Planet Earth.
It'll take you a year to get through both Dune movies.
Isn't this guy Lord of the Rings extended cut fan?
No. Aye, like, see, to be fair, obviously know Jimmy quite well now and stuff, and I do think, and I've watched his review, and I do think he has a point, right? I love the Dune films. However, Villeneuve makes slow movies. They are slow movies that you have to kind of lend yourself to. He's into world building. They move at a glacial pace.
Ellis has just said he's just watched all 4 episodes of Fallout in one sitting, so that's 4 hours. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, if you're invested in the story, then time's nothing. If you're not liking the story, then it's going to feel like a long film. If you're not liking the movie and the story it's being told, the film's going to feel long.
Yeah, but I just mean it's. I'm talking about the pace. I would imagine the Fallout show has a zippier pace than majority of Villeneuve films. So if 4 hours at a fast pace, if that makes sense, a fast paced storytelling with a lot going on doesn't feel like 4 hours of watching, whatever, like a
my man riding a whip
or something like that. Something that's like slow as fuck. So I mean, Dune's not like that. I think Dune's faster paced. Dune 2 is faster paced than the first one. But yeah, I understand why some people find his films a bit boring. It's the same reason I found Arrival boring, because the story didn't really grab me. Therefore, I then fell victim to his pacing style, because the story wasn't grabbing me. So then I felt the pace of his films. But in all these other ones, they have a similar pace. The story was grabbing me, so it didn't bother me. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
see, my only argument, Jimmy, you've set us off now. My only argument is that Dune Part 2 feels that the pace of that film feels way better than most of Denis' films, in my opinion. And I think he took that sort of criticism that we've labeled, not criticism, but like you say, Andy, they are slow-paced films. And by the time we get to Dune Part 2, I think that sort of goes out the window a little bit. I don't think I think the pace of that film is exactly where it needs to be, compared to where Dune Part 1 is a bit of a slow burn, and it fizzles out on a slow burn as well. But anyway, we'll leave that one there, guys. We'll leave that one there. We could get into it. Right, next story. So we have a new Silver Surfer has been cast for the new Fantastic Four movie. Now, it's sort of
woke. It's woke.
Here we go. So, yeah, it's come out.
Fucking idiots.
The beauty is I think people like clicked too fast when they saw this news to put the Bernie eyes and thumbnails and all that. Like, do you know what I mean? They went too fast with it because they didn't actually read into who the character was. Now, this Shala Bal version of Silver Surfer is a legit version of the Silver Surfer in the comics, but she's mainly the love interest of Norrin Radd, who is the original Silver Surfer. So they are changing it slightly. Like, don't get me wrong, folks. I've looked into it. This version, Shala Bal, who turns into Silver Surfer, doesn't have like a major run in the comics. She ain't like a major part of it. So this is a bit of a move from Marvel. It definitely is, folks. We can't just say it's not. I'm not calling it woke, but it's absolutely a move from Marvel. And I don't know. I don't necessarily know how I feel about it. I personally think they should have just went straight out the doors with Norrin Radd and not messed about at all. I think they're putting so much of their eggs in one basket when it comes to Fantastic Four. They are really sort of leaning on this to be a major player within the franchise, and I think they definitely need it at the moment. The best thing about Marvel at the moment, MCU wise, is 100% X-Men 97. That show is knocking down doors at the minute. That episode today, folks, Jesus Christ. Andy, have you been watching X-Men 97?
I've been, mate. I've not watched the most recent one, and
mate,
I'm one of the. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, there's been a lot of reaction to it online, but I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. And normally, with this stuff, Paul knows this because we've chatted about it. I like the idea of animated stuff, especially new stuff. I like the idea of it being animated and that. But see, whenever I actually, even if it's something that the story or the kind of genre really grips me. Like that samurai one that came out, everyone's raving about. Is it Blue Jack Samurai?
Blue Eye Samurai.
Yeah, watched that and I enjoyed the first episode, but I just find myself drifting. I can't. Animation just doesn't hold me. It doesn't hold me. I don't know what it is about it. However, X-Men 97 has, but I think that's because it plays on the nostalgia, because it feels like I'm watching. Because I go back and I watch Amazing Spider-Man quite regularly. I watch Batman animated series, but that's because I'm attached to that. But modern stuff that's probably maybe just as good. Animation doesn't hold me, but 97 does, because it just feels like episodes I didn't see in the 90s. If that makes sense, they're much more polished, but they feel like just episodes that I missed, kind of thing. So I'm enjoying it.
It's got really no business being as good as what it is. Like, I'm getting like full on emotional from these like 30-minute episodes. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck is going on? It's an animated show, but hey, man, you need to give credit where credit's due. But anyway, Silver Surfer, female, dead woke now, but no, not really. But I just want to get your thoughts and opinions on this one, guys. I think it was announced that Galactus as well is going to be the main villain of this film, which I'm so pleased about. I want to see a proper version of that, Paul. Like a proper scaled up version of Galactus would look so sick. And if the rumors are true about Javier Bardem possibly doing Galactus, I'm all about that. I'm all about it. But I'm okay with this. Julie Garner, I'm not really mega familiar with this person. I think she's in Ozark. If anyone's watched Ozark on the panel here,
so good. She's so good in Ozark, man. All
right, well, Paul, you've got a bit more knowledge of Julia Garner than what we do. Like for me, look, as far as this casting goes, I haven't seen her in much, so I can't really comment on whether she's good or not. But just the thought of a female Silver Surfer coming in, I think what they're trying to do here is reports have come out and said they're trying to make sure people realize that this isn't going to be potentially set in our current MCU. It's going to be set like elsewhere, because it's obviously going to be set sort of in the 60s sort of vibe. There was a poster that come out a couple of days.
Now they'll find a way.
Yeah, there was a poster that come out the other day of, I think it was on 4/4. It was of Johnny Storm. But the interesting thing about that poster was, which I should have brought it up here, was the city skyline in the background. The city skyline in the background of that poster reminded me of the city skyline in the first 10 minutes of the Fallout episode that I watched today. Like, it's got that similar sort of vibe. And I know I touched on Fantastic Four feeling a bit like Fallout a little bit. And that skyline in that poster sort of proves my point more with it. But Paul, female Silver Surfer, is this like is this woke nonsense, or is this like everyone chill the fuck out? Norrin Rad's gonna come eventually, just chill.
Everyone chill the fuck out. This is just a casting announcement.
Yeah.
This woman is going to be in this film as this character. There's nothing here to say that Silver Surfer's not in it. We just haven't heard that casting announcement yet. It's just a casting announcement. We don't know what the story is. We don't know how much she's going to be in it. We don't know nothing. They've announced the story. This actress who's fantastic in Ozark, it's the only thing I've seen her in, but I loved her in that show. They've cast her as a Marvel character in a Marvel film. That's all. That's how I took it. And I'm a massive Marvel fan. I didn't go, oh, where's the fucking real Silver Surfer? You know what I mean? It's like, it's nothing. It's just a casting announcement. The real Silver Surfer might be in this film. We just haven't been told yet. This film's still a ways out. So it might be a fact that this was potentially going to get leaked, and they've just jumped on it and go, we'll just officially announce it then. Maybe, I don't know. I read it. I was like, cool. Still can't wait for the film. I like Fantastic Four. I like Marvel. Can't wait for it. That's the take I got from it. Next.
Badger, how's this one for you, mate? Female Silver Surfer. Does this mean anything to you, this one?
Boo! A vagina! Boo! I was hoping for a silver penis. But instead, I now have a female genitalia that is going to be silver. Hashtag incel. Where?
You sound like the aliens from Galaxy Quest there.
I don't know what that is, brother. I've never seen Galaxy Quest. But I'm so bored, man. I just, everyone calm the fuck down. Guys, you're in your happy space, okay? Nothing can hurt you. You're okay. You're going to get through this. You're all tough people, I promise you. You'll get through this. Calm the fuck down. Jesus Christ. It's just been insane. It's like, come on, guys, like you're not there yet, but you're almost giving the Last of Us fan base a run for their money. Almost. Glad you put that comment up. Oh God, everything I say.
Well, you've got your pants off, Badger. Just want to show us.
For the
too bright.
Well, for the record, I did just have a shower, so it's not as grimy as it sounds. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, the point is, this is ridiculous. Everyone calm the fuck down. It's okay. It's cool. That's all I'm gonna say. Move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, 100%. Andy, any thoughts and opinions on this one, mate?
Yeah, I've got a big fancy word to use in my a bit about it that I've had to Google.
All right.
I always thought that the Silver Surfer was an androgynous character.
All
If anyone doesn't know what that means, it means part female, part. I didn't actually realise that he had a sex. So I know that in the old, I'm not clued up on Silver Surfer. So all I've got is like the old films to go by where he was a kind of male. He was voiced by a male anyway. I don't have a clue. I've never heard of that Shalabal version or anything. So I don't care, to be honest. Like whatever. Like I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four because I like that they seem to be. It's a bit of a soft reboot by the looks of things for MCU. Like the retro poster. It's first time they've taken on these legacy characters that everybody loves. So I'm excited for it. But yeah. Kind of like what you guys saying. It's just a casting announcement. It's like I don't really care, and I don't care enough about the Silver Surfer to care whether or not it's the male one or the female one. Like so.
Andy, the thing is, Andy, the reason why you don't care is because you've mentally passed puberty. That's why. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. These people are insane, man. It's bloody like hundreds of thousands of people going nuts on Twitter. It's like, guys, shut up.
Yeah, feels like they're putting a lot of faith and stock literally into Fantastic Four. If X-Men and Fantastic Four doesn't hit big, I fear for my beloved MCU.
Oh yeah, if they're fucked. If them two films flop, they're fucked. That's game over. That's game over. And I'm like you, man. I fucking love the MCU. I love Marvel. Always have, always will. They'll bounce back in, whatever they fail with, they'll bounce back. We've got Deadpool in a couple of months. I think that's the big test. I think that's going to be the big reset for the MCU. I think that'll lead us into what we need to know, what's going to come later. But I think that'll be sort of the Flashpoint paradox for the MCU in a sense. And then Fantastic Four is your next sort of chapter of stories going forward. But he's right. I think Deadpool 3 is going to make bank regardless.
Oh my goodness.
Bank. That's going to make so much. I mean, it's the most watched trailer in 24 hours or some shit. People are going to fucking go out in droves to watch Deadpool 3. Even more so if it gets great reviews. But he's right. If Fantastic Four bombs, they're fucked.
I think they'll be all right with Fantastic Four. Definitely, the cast is really solid. I think they're trying to make it more different than what the current MCU is, and going back to the 60s, if that is true, is a really good idea and take. But yeah, 100%. Like if X-Men, I bet they're sweating about X-Men now, and I bet they're going back to the drawing board a little bit because of how good 97 is at the moment. I think that show is just proving how big of a deal X-Men is within the Marvel property overall. But yeah, folks, we'll move on to our next story, right, Paul? This is an interesting one for you, buddy, as well.
Okay.
Live action R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Let's fucking go! Right, yeah, The Last Ronin is being made into a live adaptation.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
wait till you hear what this is about, Badger. You'll be fucking on board with this, bro.
Okay,
so
okay.
I'm going to be totally honest here, right? And shame on me. I haven't read this book, but I know what the story is. I know the spoiler in the book that I don't think we should reveal here.
No.
Yeah. No. We won't get into that bit because I don't think Andy. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
I'm aware of the cultural significance of this. And I have read a bit about it, but yeah, I don't know what happens.
Yeah, we won't spoil it because if you don't know the crack with this book, it's mint. It's hellish. The concept to it's awesome.
Yeah.
But live action R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. Like after watching Mutant Mayhem last year and that film,
man.
I am a huge fan of it.
Yeah, man.
You know, when you go to your list afterwards, when you do like your top 10 or whatever, and you look at it like 2 months later and you go, yeah, that wouldn't be the same. Yeah,
Mhm.
it really wouldn't. Like Mutant Mayhem from last year was just absolutely phenomenal, and I think it shows that that movie didn't make a shit ton of money, but it made enough money for these guys to be like, yeah, there's still invested interest in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this is coming from Walter Hamada, which he's just a producer that was quite famous in I think he was running Warner Brothers, if I'm not mistaken, for a couple of years when the DCU was going on. But yeah, man, this story is so cool. If I'll just leave people who are listening to look into it, or maybe just go and buy the book, which I am going to do 100% now. But yeah, not only is it going to be live action, it's going to be R-rated as well, which I find interesting. So they are sort of putting all the eggs in the basket for this one a little bit, as far as, you know, maybe taking a gamble. This could be a little bit of a gamble, but it's a cool as fuck story. I'm about it. I'm 100% mega yes for this. This was only announced a couple of hours ago, so this is brand new, this story. But after the success of last year's animated hit film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Paramount Pictures is keeping Turtle Power going by putting a new feature project in development. This one, however, will go beyond the realm of ages material the long-standing property is known for, and instead go into gritty R-rated territory. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the earlier comics, Paul, like when they were black and white, weren't they quite edgy and more R-rated than the
So,
sort
yeah.
of the show and film
Yeah.
afterwards? But yeah, Paul, what do you think of this one? This one's an exciting one, man. I can't
Mate,
wait.
I'm there day one. The best way I can describe The Last Ronin is a bit like The Dark Knight Returns from Batman. It's a story that's geared towards people who grew up with these characters and have aged with these characters. So this is sort of The Last Ronin. It ain't for people who are just getting into the Ninja Turtles. It's for people who grew up with them as kids, and they've now made this story more mature. They've aged it for people who grew up with it and they want a bit more of a mature story with these characters that they grew up loving. The best way, I don't really want to talk about the story because it's a bit, there's twists and turns in it that I don't want to spoil. But that's sort of like what the ingenious of the story is. It's basically the character you've got on the cover there, you don't know which turtle it is, and that's sort of the gist of the story.
Yeah,
like you don't know what turtle you're following or why, and then the story's getting pieced together as you're reading it. So it is a gritty story. It's more of an adult, mature take on the Ninja Turtles, so it will be R-rated. There is swearing and blood and heads getting chopped off, very samurai-ish, Shogun era of Japan, obviously with the title Last Ronin. This is awesome. I mean, we've just had that Mutant Mayhem, which I love, but that isn't geared towards kids. It's a family film. Anyone can watch it. That's more geared towards kids. But I like that they know they're not. It's a bit like X-Men '97. They know there's fans that grew up with these characters and will invest their time back into it. So they want to capture that market as well, because I believe they're making a video game of The Last Ronin as well. I'm pretty sure they're gearing up a video game for it as well. So it's.
Yeah, they were. I think the studio that was making the game has went under. So I don't know whether that game is cancelled, but they didn't have a trailer for it as well.
I think they had like a little quick
teaser.
Announcement teaser, but still, so they know that there's money in it. I think it was one of the best-selling comic graphic novels of 2021 or 22 when it came out. I can't remember what year it was.
It made waves when it came out.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, and I'm excited for it. R-rated Turtles film, man. If they can make it feel like that 90s one, but a more up-to-date modern version of that, I'll be there day one, man.
What do you reckon? CGI suits or practical suits for the turtle?
That's it. I think it'll be CGI, but they need to bring that CGI down. It can't be like what they were when they're Michael Bay ones. It needs to be a better CGI. I need to believe that these characters are real, and I don't with them Michael Bay films because they're just so outlandish.
Yeah.
Big
turtles.
I think kind of what Paul was saying there about that they're gonna, like, if the comic was aimed at people probably our age, probably guys in their maybe 30s, maybe even 40s that grew up with the Turtles in the 80s and 90s. Then it's important to get the tone right, and I think the way they present the turtle or the turtles on screen is important. And I think the practical route is the practical effects is like the trend just now anyway. But that way it ties it back to those original movies, so it kind of ties into the nostalgia. It's like kind of fan service element for guys like that. Was my first film at the cinema. Was the 1990 Turtles. So I'm banging their like audience kind of demographic there, and I would appreciate that because it would feel like a tribute and a kind of homage has been made to the originals. But I just think that given this is a more mature story, that I'd imagine the action is going to be the choreography is going to be important and stuff. So I think, the more grounded and realistic it is with practical suits, the better. I think the more CGI and practical CGI they use, you lose the kind of visceralness of it. What I will quickly say as well is that on the cover, well, in the book as well, it says introduction by director Robert Rodriguez. He's a massive Turtles fan, and he sort of talks about the impact of the book and the characters in the first couple of pages. There's your director. Yeah, that'd be awesome if they got him on board for it.
Yeah, what a good shout.
I was going to ask you, Paul, while you were talking about it. I assumed this is maybe like a mid-90s comic, but it's actually just a few years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was literally like 21, 22. I think it was all collected together.
This is one of these, like, beloved ones from like years ago. I didn't realize it was fairly recent. Yeah,
but Badger, what do you think about this one, mate?
I got no real thoughts other than it sounds goddamn good. Give it my way. That's all I've got.
Yeah, man. I just want to add as well, Boy Kills World. This is who it's been penned by, Tyler Burton Smith. Haven't seen Boy Kills World, but the trailer looks pretty great. Went to see Monkey Man the other day, and the trailer played before that one. Mrs. wants to go and watch that one, so we'll be watching that one. Scottish Geek Guy just says, what the fuck? I missed this news. Live action TMT. I'm 100% there. Yeah, don't reveal a spoiler. Yeah, it's a juicy one. We won't. Scottish Geek Guy, Mutant Mayhem was brilliant. Top 10 of 2023. Yeah, man.
Yeah, by the way, dude, I loved your video on the Steelbook, the 4K Steelbook, by the way, Jimmy. Nice one, brother.
Yeah, man. Right. Next story, folks. This is our second last story of the night. Right. Are we ready to follow the White Rabbit again, boys?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No. Fucking shot the White Rabbit in the head.
No. Red pill, blue pill. Right. Drew Goddard.
Get me the fucking blue pill. Get me off this train.
Exactly. I don't care. I don't care what happens. As long as I have to see it, I don't give one fuck, mate. I don't care.
Give me some pills. Give me a lot of pills.
I tell you what, I'll go first for this one because I reckon I'll be the most positive. Right.
Blue pill bitch.
Right, guys. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked by this news, but quite happy as well. I can't lie. So we've got a new Matrix film in the works, Matrix 5. After the god-awful, depressing, upsetting, ruined my childhood, Resurrection, like that was a hot bit of garbage, that film, folks. I now watch that film, after the fact, and if I separate the fact that it says Matrix on it and it's just this like science fiction film over here, away from that over there, then
it's still shit.
It's still terrible. It's still terrible. I get some sort of sick enjoyment out of it, but it's bad. I understand it's bad. But I was upset. I was more upset with the fact that the film was that bad that I thought, shit, well, this is it. Like, we're not going to get any more movies in this franchise. And it's a shame because I think, there's so much that we can do in this universe. Like, there's untapped potential in this universe to go in many directions. How about follow like a samurai in this one, or follow like a soldier, of go in all these like different directions, like a lot like they're doing with the Predator films, with like mixing it up in different territories and different like decades and stuff like that. I think there's so much to do with the Matrix, and especially in the Matrix. yes, that film was a major letdown, but one thing I think is a bonus about this news is Drew Goddard. Now, Drew Goddard, Badger, you know, Cabin in the Woods. How sick is that film? We watched Cabin in the Woods last night. We had a movie night. It was Leon the Professional, Reservoir Dogs, and we ended it with Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, that's a triple bill, that man.
Yeah,
Jesus
man.
Christ,
But
savage man.
Yeah, but Cabin in the Woods is a quality little horror film. Very original, very unique. You know, like sets you up for the most cliche thing ever for the first 20 minutes, but then once it starts popping off and you realize what's going on in that film, it's hellish. It was co-written by Joss Whedon as well, but I'll give Drew Goddard the credit for this one. But yeah, he's tapped to write and direct this one. It says here, Drew came to Warner Brothers with a new idea that we all believe would be an incredible way to continue the Matrix world, but both honoring what Lana and Lily began over 25 years ago and offering a unique perspective based on his own love of the series and characters. Guys, I know you might not want to see another Matrix or anything like that, and I totally understand. Like, there's a lot of people out there that don't even like Reloaded, they don't like Revolutions, and they certainly don't like Resurrections. I'm in the camp as I love Reloaded. I understand Revolutions has got its problems, and Resurrection is bag of shite. But a bag of shite I put on now and then. But Andy, we'll go to you first for this one, mate. Are you super excited with this one?
Well,
put it in the bin. What we're doing?
You've helped me change. I came on strong there at the beginning, but
you did, mate.
Because a lot of the media coverage on social media and stuff has been Matrix 5, greenlit, and nobody fucking wants to see a continuation of Resurrections. Do you know what I mean? Is that what it's called? Nobody wants to see that. So maybe the fact that some people have haphazardly called it Matrix 5, it's got people like myself reeling in their seat because, like, no, you can't. Like, they've made such a mess of that the Neo stories, it's gone. But if it's just that this guy's coming with a brand new idea, Star Wars style, like he's what Disney are doing with some of the better shows and like going into that world with brand new characters, then the Matrix does as a franchise have potential. So if this is a guy who's pretty established in films that have subverted people's maybe assumptions like Cabin in the Woods did, and he's a genuine fan, then yeah, maybe he is the right guy. And if the people at Warner Brothers, given how shit that fourth one was, and surely they must even know that was a damn squib of a movie. If they've got excited enough by his idea, just like a year or so after that abysmal fourth one, then there must be something in it. So yeah, okay, you've changed my opinion a bit. Maybe it is something we should be a bit more optimistic about. But yeah, Resurrections was just toilet. I mean, the fact that like you can still get that steelbook, the 4K steelbook, for about $5 because they can't sell it. Have you noticed that? It's always on Tavi and HMV. And it's like I've seen it going as cheap as $6.99, and it's never sold out. So like, when people aren't like, people like, what it's like with people, like us that collect physical media. Most of us are like, we have to have the full collection, don't we? Even if it's shit, we like, I've got the firstie, so need to get that fourth one. But that tells me that people are holding out. They're not even completing their Matrix. They're just.
It's not part of canon.
Can't sell it. Can't sell it. So people are holding out. So. That really strikes home to me how disliked that movie was.
Yeah, and it does also say here as well, Lana Wachowski is going to be involved, but she's only going to be an executive producer on this one. So, Paul, Matrix 5, is this a buy or sell for you, this one?
I've just been sat here really like just going back to the time when Matrix Resurrections come on, man. Like I was so excited for that film, man. Like hyped. Remember that trailer?
Oh yeah,
fuck
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't though. I didn't.
Fuck me.
Thought it
I think the trailer was good. Did you? Yeah. Oh man, I love that like first trailer with that fucking song playing and shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember what song it was, but well, yeah, makes sense. I like the Matrix trilogy. The first one's the best one, of course. it can be standalone. You don't need the other two, but I do like. I grew up with them. I was I was like teenager when they come out, so I can have fun with all three of them. I think they do make a nice trilogy to watch. A little binge. I'm a big fan of the Animatrix, which is sort of an anthology.
Yeah.
Sort of like an anthology sort of thing, like short animated episodes from different directors and different styles and stuff like that. So I think so. There is potential for more stories to be told in the world, because that Animatrix series did it wonderfully.
Brilliant, yeah.
So there are more stories to tell in the universe of the Matrix. I would prefer them to go to that maybe TV route, do it like an anthology series where every episode's sort of like Black Mirror shit, where every episode's sort of a different thing. I think that would be a cool idea.
It's a dope idea, That's dope.
If they're moving away from fucking Resurrections and it's just a brand new story in the Matrix world, I'll check it out. But yeah, that sour taste is going to be there, man. They need to show something to really reel us back in after that fucking stink fest of a movie, because yeah, I'm still having like PTSD about I remember walking out of it, man. I was so fucking bummed. I was like, I don't even know what happened in that film. I don't know what it's about. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, I'm there for more Matrix stuff. They just need to really get something down that's going to bring us back.
Yeah, man. Badger, you've surely got to be a bit more upbeat on this one with who's involved, have to direct and write it.
In cinemas 2024, Matrix redundant. I'm not looking forward to Matrix retarded. Matrix ridiculous. I don't know. It's all. I'm just not looking forward to any of it. I don't care who's involved. At the end of the day, I'm tired of this. So look, I'm not gonna drone on about this one for ages. Look, I'm a massive fan of the original one, absolutely. And even though, of course, Matrix Reloaded has some major problems toward the end, I'm still a believer. I'm a big fan of that film. I really like it. I don't love it or anything, but I like it a lot. But that third one, I'm glad it has supporters. Paul, I just discovered, liked it. Ellis, I know you're a fan of it. Good. I'm glad it's got supporters. I can't stand it. I freaking hate the third one so much. As a result, I didn't bother with the fourth one. I haven't seen it yet. I still don't want to.
Okay.
So what do? It's like everyone else was telling me how bad it was. I was like, you know what, man, I'm all good. Like, thank you, but no.
I'm not wasting my 2 hours.
I think the best. I remember like a while back, Andy did this awesome video of his local renting store, like where he rents DVDs and stuff. Isn't that right, Andy? That little store, right, where you rent. And I remember that you explained in the video that you rented Matrix, whatever the fourth one's called, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I got it from that guy. Yeah, I did. I got the DVD.
That's right. You rented it because you already heard it sucked ass, so you may as well contribute to a nice small business like that that's still keeping the old days alive. That right there, that's the best thing I think that fourth film has done. Straight up.
The guy's livelihood.
Exactly, that's what it is. You at least didn't waste much money at all. You got to see if the film is good or bad, and you got to do something that I have not done in God knows how long. Rent a DVD. I'd love to do that again, but we don't have a store
telling
like
him that. I told him that off camera as well the day that I rented it, and haphazardly, and didn't realise it might sound offensive. So he was like, "All right, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so you just come in and get the shite off of me. all your fancy steelbooks you get from my competitor HMV, and then you come in here and give me £2 for the shit you fucking film."
Awesome. You know what it is?
It sounds like me if I was
a while. I've not been any shop, but I get my comic books, my graphic novels from there as well. So I need to go in and see them.
I bet the air rental costs more than the steelbook these days now. Bet it costs more to rent it.
Do you know what's crazy? That film has legitimate fans though. Like, people fucking love it. Like,
yeah, when it came out, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, people are saying like you just don't get it, and that's the point. Like, you don't get this film, and we do. It's like, fuck off.
Either way, look, this new one is just, I just don't want it. Even though I'm an avid fan of Cabin in the Woods and all that, I don't trust anyone anymore. I don't trust anyone. It's just not. No, no, I'm not looking forward to it. The only thing that could get me interested in it, the only thing, even though I am somewhat a fan of the second one, I would much rather they just retconned all of the sequels and just did a direct sequel to the first one. I would honestly love that. I know that would obviously be controversial. I understand, and if people aren't into that, that's fine. I respect it. Me saying that has probably made some people wince. I can understand why. Fair enough. But I do believe that would absolutely recharge, re-energize my love for the franchise. Absolutely. I'd love to see the old cast come back and, you know, a lot older. And, you know, maybe it could end and I don't want to punch Keanu Reeves in the face. That would be nice. But that hasn't been happening recently.
Could we get Switch back? Because I love that character, man. I hate that she dies in that film.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Not like this. Oh.
And then out she goes.
Hey.
Bless her,
I love
yeah.
Matrix. That's a
Yeah,
fun film, that.
I watched it that.
Big-
I'll go on 4K. It's a great disc that as well. That Atmos
Mhm.
on it's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Hopefully, they can bring it back a bit and get the Matrix into the conscious of people's minds in a good way. But okay, right. Main news topic of the day. We just got a trailer released yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Now, my thoughts are already up on the channel, guys, about the Joker 2 Folie Deux trailer. But I'll get your guys' quick thoughts on this one. We'll have a bit of a discussion about it. Right, Paul, we'll go to you first for this one, mate, because I haven't heard your thoughts and opinions on it yet. So,
Cool.
Joker 2, mate, what did you think of our first look at this trailer?
Yeah, man. I love the trailer. It didn't really give a lot away in terms of story. It was more of a visual trailer in my eyes. Like, it was showing you the style that was going for. Like, stylistically, it looks amazing. I wanted to see. I already know what Arthur Fleck brings, and Joaquin Phoenix with the first film. I was more interested in what Gaga's going to bring. I was sold on her in this trailer. She's a phenomenal actress. On your trailer reaction, I heard you say that you haven't seen A Star Is Born yet. If you want to see her acting, you want to see her acting chops, check out that film, and she is phenomenal in that movie. That movie made me believe that she's a phenomenal actress. I think she fits the character of Harley Quinn. I'm a big fan of the character of Harley Quinn from the comics anyway. I always have been. In all the different iterations we've had since the 90s. And I'm always intrigued to see what someone else can bring to that character. And I think she's such a great fit. We've been told it's a musical. We don't really get any musical cues or anything like that, so we don't know what music's going to be in it. I've been told it's going to be more of a jukebox musical, where it's going to be already established songs that they're going to be covering in the film, rather than songs sort of, most musicals are like songs that sort of about what's happening in the story. I'm very excited for it. It looks phenomenal. The only thing I will pick, you know what, I'm not even going to take credit for this. My missus said this, and I didn't think about it until she said it. In the trailer, Harley Quinn looks like she's an inmate with him rather than his psychiatrist, and I didn't pick up on that until my missus did. So she's taken all that credit. I didn't see that. I didn't pick up on that at all. So we're having a different take on Harley Quinn. Now, I always view this film and the first film, I will view it the same. It's an Elseworld story, so they can do whatever they want with these characters, as long as the fundamentals are there. And I believe the character I see is that character. They can do whatever the hell to the origin, but do whatever the hell they want with it. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with Harley Quinn. I'm more excited for Harley Quinn than the Joker in this film. I really am. I'll be there. I'll be there day one, man.
Yeah, 100%. Andy, what are your thoughts on our new trailer and look at Joker Folie Deux?
Yeah, it's kind of like I wasn't surprised by it. I think it kind of the trailer was exactly kind of what I thought it would look like in my mind's eye, if that makes sense. But no, I'm excited for it. I agree with Paul. I haven't seen A Star Is Born either. I keep meaning to watch it, but I've seen her in American Horror Story season 5. She was excellent in that. I do think she's very talented, Gaga, and she just fits that character in real life. Like she's and it makes sense because they're going down the jukebox musical route that casts someone who can act and is very musically talented. And she's always been known to be, especially in an early career, flamboyant. She wore really outlandish outfits, which is what Harley Quinn, the character, does. So she's a kind of natural fit for it. But yeah, I think I'm definitely excited for it. The tone of it, the look of it seems to have been carried over from the original. But I think it'll be interesting from a character point of view, because I think by the end of the first one, yeah, the Joker is born. Arthur Fleck's Joker is born, but he almost kind of causes chaos, unwittingly. Like, he acts out for himself. He kind of finds himself, and he eventually retaliates, and he does it on live TV. But I don't think it was ever really to create hysteria. It was just the way he went about it, and he was targeting that. He had kind of delusions of being a comedian and all this. But I feel like he still doesn't have purpose yet. And I feel like this is going to be about where he finds that person in his life. She's going to be his reason, like, to start smiling and enjoying life and actually relishing the chaos that they can kind of cause. So I think it'll be a kind of fucked up love story, anti-hero love story kind of thing.
Andy, you're getting me giddy, man. You're getting me giddy talking about it. Selling it to me so good.
I think that's
keep talking.
That's
keep
what
talking.
I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping it's going to be about. But another thing I'm excited about is Steve Coogan pops up, man. Where did he come from?
I had no idea Steve Coogan was in it. Yeah.
No.
Partridge is in it, man. Brilliant. So I like Steve Coogan. He's good at playing unlikable, slimy characters. So
I wonder if he's going to play the sort of role of De Niro played in the first one.
Maybe. Yeah, I can imagine him being maybe like the psychiatrist that you just want to punch in the face from the first scene in the movie that he's in. That. So no, I think it's definitely one that I'm interested in. I think the trailer's kind of delivered.
Yeah, like I said in my reaction, if they didn't release another trailer now, I'd be super on board with that, because I don't need to see anymore. But
yeah, me neither. I'm not watching anymore.
Yeah. What, Badger? What do you think about this one? You were a big fan of that original Joker film, weren't you?
Yeah, so again, look, making it mad simple. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm not a big Batman fan, not into all of this. But I've been very impressed recently because I've been connecting with it. The Batman really did shock me, and Joker, god damn, I got it on 4K Steelbook, easily, well, quite possibly the best 4K I've ever seen. Astonishing 4K. So I'm looking forward to the cinematography on this new one. It's going to look incredible. Just a feast for the eyes it's going to be. And it looks exactly like how I expected, like what Andy was saying. I really did expect it to look as good as it was. I didn't expect to know much about the plot, and I didn't. It looks fantastic. Whoever came up with that smile on the window, the shots, that smile, whoever came up with that needs a fucking raise, man. That's just iconic. I think that's going to be an iconic image. I swear it will be. Yeah, I am very, very much looking forward to this. I must be seeing this on day one. How could I not? I'm just as excited to see this as I am Deadpool 3. And one more thing that I'd like to add as well. What was it? Yeah, what people have been talking about with this whole Harley Quinn not being, not being the Doctor. It looks like she's the inmate here. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. We'll have to watch the film. But the weird thing is, I guess it's because I'm not really too familiar with Batman lore. I already expected her to be an inmate. I never once thought, oh yeah, she's going to be a doctor who gets turned. So when I saw her as an inmate, my brain didn't remotely get shocked. It looked to me like she's an inmate, a patient. It looks like she's a patient there. So I always thought she'd be a patient, always. I don't know why, but either way, when I saw it, it didn't surprise me too much. But yeah, like you said, Paul, I'm way more fucking excited to see her than anyone else. I just can't wait to see what she brings to the table. It's going to be great. But the dad joke part of my brain will be so pissed off if she doesn't sing Joker Face. If she doesn't do a spin on Poker Face and doesn't do some type of dad joke, I'm going to be vexed, man. 0 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? Can't be mad. That'd be amazing.
I think definitely one of the most interesting parts of this is the fact that Harley looks like she is an inmate in this one. That is flipping that character totally on its head a little bit. She's a doctor psychiatrist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I find quite interesting, right, is how Joker 2019 Joker was heavily inspired by Taxi Driver, which it is. It totally is. When you watch Taxi Driver,
it jumps off the screen.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's and that's fine. That's totally fine. It's more of like a homage to that film. With this film, I said in my trailer reaction that it reminded me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. No, it doesn't. Now I'm taking that back a little bit. The only reason I said One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is because we've got Brendan Gleeson in here, which I did highlight in the trailer that he's one of the guards in the right hand side. He's an amazing actor, Brendan Gleeson. He was awesome in Banshees of Inisherin, and he's had like a totally great career. He was Mad Eye, One Eye, Moody in Harry Potter, whatever. Anyway, phenomenal. Yeah. So yeah, Joker number 1 reminds me of Taxi Driver. Now this one is reminding me of potentially Shutter Island a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So, right. So I saw a theory going about Harley being the inmate. Now, I'll just leave it there. But if you remember Shutter Island and sort of the twist at the end of that film, imagine if Todd Phillips is then making another homage to another Scorsese film in Shutter Island. Now, I am absolutely reaching for that one. But if you remember the end of Shutter Island and like the sort of your jaw on the floor a little bit, you're like, oh shit. I wonder if they're doing something similar in this film.
I mean, I don't want to spoil where you're going with that. I think I know where you're going with that. And I've seen a few people with the same idea. But I've seen a few people throw that around. Not Shutter Island, just not Shutter Island, just the idea of what I think where Ellis is going with that. But they sort of, I don't know how to say this about, in case it does come true. I'm just going to say it because it's not a spoiler because we don't know. I think the Harley Quinn character is not going to be real in the film. I think it's going to be something. That's all. I think they set up that sort of mentality with Zazie Beetz' character in the first film, where she's just a figment of his imagination. I think this is going to be a better version of that in Harley Quinn from Zazie Beetz' character. I could be well off. Is she?
Yeah, I was quite surprised.
Yeah, she's returning. Yeah,
she's in there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But yeah, if I was to put money on the table as a betting man, I predict that she won't be a real character in this film by the end of it. I think it'll be a sort of a figment of his imagination.
I just think you've got to go tragic. You've got to go tragic with this character because the first film is so tragic and his like sort of origin is sort of horrific when you find out what he's went through as a child and stuff like that. I think to have this film looks almost too upbeat in a way. Do you know what I mean? I think it's got to end tragically. This is a tragic story. We're serious here. Like you said, Paul, it's Elseworld stories, which I just want to reiterate. Like, I love the fact that DC are letting these directors do this sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think we need to see more of it. That is something that Marvel and Disney could take a leaf out of their book 100%. And when they've got a platform like Disney Plus, I don't know why they're not doing more of that. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, this trailer, folks, awesome. I don't need to see any more, but we are going to end up seeing more. I also really love that poster that they released. I haven't got it up here, but yeah, awesome.
Real quick, stuff. I just wanted to ask everyone here just real quick, because sadly I'm going to have to bounce in a second. I have to bounce. I can't stay here for the whole thing, sadly. But I just wanted to know what you guys think of this. So what do you lads think about maybe potentially them doing another Joker film which skips about 2 or 3 decades into the future and Batman's there, and you know, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix has to wear a load of old makeup, because I think that could be a weird idea. I don't know how I feel about it. What do you guys think?
I don't want to see Batman in these films.
No.
Cool.
Personally.
Understandable. Yeah,
that's me. I was a bit, the bit with him in the first film, like that's more. I don't do no more. That's enough.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Enough.
Yeah, because I don't feel like it's a film that's. It's weird. I don't feel like it's a film that warrants having Batman in it. It's such, even though it's a Joker movie and it's a villain of Batman, it's a DC film.
Yeah.
I view it so differently. Like, I don't watch it like, oh, it's a Joker origin story. That's not how I view the film. It's just, it's hard to explain. It's hard to put into words. But the idea of putting Batman in the movie or any of these films, it doesn't work for me personally.
Fair enough. I get it.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Moving on to our next and final topic, Badger. So, are you staying here for this tier list, mate? Or
I'm afraid not. I don't have enough time for it. I have to get myself prepped for a load of jazz coming up. But also, besides, I'm not too familiar with all of it, so I don't even know who I would put at the top. I really can't pick between Mark Hamill's, you know what I mean, Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix. Can't pick. I don't know.
Nicholson. Yeah, all right. No,
that Nicholson. When did he do that?
What? 1989. What? Let's not even go there, mate.
Yeah,
Badger, would you like to plug your channel at the moment? You've got some tasty videos on there at the moment.
Yeah, I've just recently posted my big ass review of John Carpenter's The Thing, where I analyze why I think it's a complete masterpiece. I also introduce a brand new type of rating to my channel, which is at the very end of the video. You gotta watch it to find out. It's not even that big a deal, but I'll just pretend it is to get you guys watching it. In about 2 weeks, I'll be reviewing the review of the video games coming out. And probably 2 weeks after that, the review of that prequel will be out. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's about it, So I'm gonna have to love y'all and leave y'all, and gonna have to get on my way. But yeah, enjoy the stream, guys, and yeah, thanks for having me. Awesome.
Take it easy, Badger, man.
Catch you later, man.
It's a pleasure, mate.
Awesome. Yeah, pleasure, guys. Take care of yourselves, right? In a bit.
All right, guys. Our last little segment. We won't spend long on this because I know we've been going quite a while here. Luckily, there's not that many to talk about. But our last segment of the night, we're going to rank the on-screen Jokers. We'll tier them anyway. First on the list is the 1960s Cesar Romero Joker. Now, I'll just throw this one straight out there. I haven't got an awful lot to say about this interpretation of the Joker. I did watch that 60s The Batman movie when I was little, had some enjoyment out of it. You know, you can't beat Batman punching a shark in the head like that. That'll never grow old.
I mean, the shark villain, that's Ray Robin.
Yeah, man, awesome stuff. But yeah, Cesar Romero for its time, the 60s. It's fine. You've got to love it. You've got to love the tash. I'm so glad he didn't shave that off. You know what I mean? But gives it a little bit of flavor. But if I'm going Cesar Romero, if I'm going to rank it in a tier list, because of the time and it being a 1960s show, you know, you got all that going on. It's silly, just like the show's silly. So I'll go B. I'll be nice and go B. I'll be nice. I'll take Dalton's advice. Be nice. Paul, Cesar Romero.
Yeah,
what have you got to say about this one?
I didn't grow up again. Like I didn't grow up with the 60s Batman. I was not born then. I've seen episodes of it because it used to be on like random in the middle of the day on Channel 4 and shit when I was like a young kid. So I've seen it. I've also read Batman comics from like 60s and 70s, and the Joker is very much like Cesar Romero's Joker in that iteration, the Silver Age of comics, when it was sort of like boom, bang, Superman, superpowers, woohoo, maniacal villains sort of bullshit. So he, for the time it came out and for the interpretation of the character he was doing it how it is in the comics for the time. So he's not doing a bad job. He's the Joker from the 60s and 70s. Do you know what I mean? So I'd go B as well.
I'm just going B for safe. But Andy Cesar Romero.
Yeah, I think did you stick him in B? I mean, I think you should have created a tash tier that he should have went in on his own.
A tash tier, yeah.
Oh, the tash. I mean, that is pretty amazing, that tash thing. Like, but do you not think it adds to the character's whacking it? It kind of works. I know he did it because he didn't want to shave his tash off, and his family. He felt like he'd lose his identity at home if he didn't have his moustache. That's what I'm led to believe. But
yeah,
I don't think he could have foreseen how much it would actually add to the kind of wackiness of the character. Like you could believe almost that the Joker would do something like that. Would just go, I'll just paint over my tash rather than shave it because I'm mental. So yeah, I didn't. Obviously, it was before my time as well, but it probably was the first Batman like content I watched. Like and my dad telling me, "Oh, I used to watch this as a kid," and I would be watching it. And then '89 Batman probably came very soon after, and then the animated series for me would probably be the kind of batting order. So yeah, he's iconic, and he's certainly you know, he's a landmark performance, and people remember it. You know, so I think B's fair.
I've got his own category there. He's not at the bottom, but he's in best hash.
I think he's unique.
Yeah, definitely. Right, next up, Batman 1989, Jack Nicholson. Right, I know, folks. I'm ranking this one pretty high. But I'm under no illusion that this is like a Jack Nicholson 2.0 playing the Joker. Do you know what I mean? This is like just Jack Nicholson, but heightened a little bit. I will give him a little bit of credit is when he's like Jack Napier at the start. There is a slight change. He does get more crazy as the film goes on, or when the change actually happens and he falls into the chemicals. So yeah, I'm just retracting my own point straight away there. I do think, you know, he suits this movie. I think it's so hilarious that he's top billed on a movie called Batman. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't really get a lot of Batman in this film. We get an awful lot of Joker though, and I can't complain whatsoever. Lines quotable for days and days and days. I was going to say,
glad you did.
Yeah. I'm glad you did. So good. It's me, Sugar Pumps. I love it. But yeah, man.
Never rubber of mental Bob.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson for me, like just on personally, I put I'll put him in A just to save face a little bit. I won't put him in S. I'd go A. I think there's two other people that would go in S, but that's just me personally. That's on a personal level. I feel like he's my, you know, when you've got like that uncle in the family who's a total dickhead. I feel like Jack Nicholson Joker is that uncle in my family. But yeah, Paul, where would you put Jackie Boy on our tier?
Yeah, it's a tough one because this is my Joker. Do you know what I mean? This is this film is what made me a Batman fan, Batman '89, and for many years this was my Joker. I love his. We have Cesar Romero, who's very much a product of the 60s and 70s. Jack Napier, Jack Nicholson's Joker is very much that 80s, sort of coming out of the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns. That sort of comics have gone a bit more mature. The characters the fans have grew up with the characters, and so sort of the movie did the same.
Yeah.
He's maniacal in it. He's funny in it. He's one of the funniest Jokers we have out of this bunch, if not the funniest one. He's got the best. He's got the best lines. He's what I really like about this Joker as well is, and you touched on it on your Joker 2 trailer reaction as well, is we don't need a Joker origin story. I believe this is the only one, apart from the Joaquin Phoenix, where we do get it. Is the whole story is his sort of his origin and how he made Batman and Batman made him. And if Batman '89 and this Joker was the only Batman media you ever consumed in your life, then you've got a full-fledged story character, sort of full circle. Do you know what I mean? Of how it's, if you find out it's him who kills Bruce Wayne's parents and that. But it's hard. Years ago, it would have been S, like no sweat S. But I feel like I've seen better versions of the character for me personally, and that hurts me to say because I love this version of the Joker so much. But there are a few on here I think are a little bit better, so I think I'll go A as well.
A as well.
Otherwise, there's going to be too many. It's too many.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to break it up a little bit, but my heart says S, but my head's saying A. Andy, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I feel like because I've came last in both these, like I'm just following suit. But I actually agree. I think similar to Paul, a lot of nostalgia for growing up watching Batman on Channel 5. I've felt like every Sunday night. Jack Nicholson is an amazing actor. He's iconic. He's a massive personality on and off the screen. And I think that's the reason that if you're being critical, you have to maybe put it in A, because he just is playing a version of himself. Like, it's that kind of way where he was the perfect cast. It was like, we need a guy that's a bit maniacal, funny, got that kind of like, that thing in his eye that's kind of similar to Batman, because that's the whole point. Like, they're supposed to mirror each other, and I think Keaton and Jack Nicholson do, because they've both got that kind of like mad thing in their eye. So he's great, like you say, lines are funny or anything, but I don't know. I just think he's it's like A tier, but it's just too. It's more a Jack Nicholson. It's a cracking Jack Nicholson performance as opposed to a great version of the. It is a great version of the Joker, but it's not a definitive version of the Joker. If that makes sense?
It takes some liberties with the character, definitely. Like Paul was mentioning there, especially when it comes to like, Jack Napier in that film's got a full arc. Do you know what I mean? Like, and we see. I've never loved the bit where you see him kill Bruce Wayne's parents, just because in my head I know that ain't it. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to separate that. But I think we're all in agreement. We're gonna go Jackie boy.
It's like I know we're moving on, but it's like he's not likable as Jack Napier. He's an asroll. Like, he does
What's
kind of weird is when he becomes the Joker, he actually becomes like an anti-hero though. That you root for him a little bit more, even though he's doing even more horrible things. Like putting acid in people's faces and killing people left, right, and centre. But for some reason, it's like funny. It's like, so that's what the character's about. But yeah.
Half the reason I watch 89 as much as what I do is purely because of Jack Nicholson. Like, he without a doubt one of the best parts of that film. Which, like, not every time, but like when you look at another version of the character, it's usually the best bit about the Batman film. Do you know what I mean? So Jack Nicholson definitely is that in 89 for me.
Oh yeah.
Right. Move on to the next one. Right. Not Mark Hamill. He's going in S, and for me, he's at the top of the echelon. For me,
it's my top as well.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to spend loads on Mark Hamill. I just think whenever you think of the Joker in any sort, for me personally, any sort of medium, the first initial thing that comes to my head is that drawing. Do you know what I mean? Like that animation. But regardless of that, Mark Hamill, like, Jesus Christ, like what? Going from, Luke Skywalker, this super protagonist that is the polar opposite of playing this character. Do you know what I mean? And I know it's in animation and stuff like that, and it's a lot of voice work and whatnot. But when you see Mark Hamill do the voice in the voice booth,
so good,
so into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'd have been awesome to see him maybe one day just do a little cheeky live action take of it. But like, if you've ever seen the old Flash show, he was the trickster in that one. And he plays that sort of, you could imagine it, you know what I mean? Like what his Joker live action take would be. But yeah, the reason this one's in here, folks, as well, because I'm counting the Mask of the Phantasm as like the on-screen film adaptation for this one. But yeah, I can't say any more. He's got the best laugh. He's probably the funniest out of a lot of them. And it's like, I don't know. There's something just so like cemented about this Joker in pop culture, and I just think even you could say the same about Kevin Conroy and Batman. Like there'd be a lot of people, for most people, that who's the best Batman, live action Batman? Oh, Kevin Conroy. And I know it's animated, but if you just count in Mask of the Phantasm sort of thing. But yeah, lads, Mark Hamill's just like the GOAT when it comes to this character. Will never be topped. I think Troy Baker does a good go of it, but like, it's not Mark Hamill. It's not Mark Hamill. And as far as like Arkham Asylum goes and the games and stuff, like he's now, Mark Hamill as his character's crossed many mediums, not just the animated stuff. So it's killer. He's S for me, and he's the top of the pile. But yeah, Andy, go for it, mate. Mark Hamill is the Joker.
You ended up kind of touching right at the end there on what I was going to say, but I think that's the key thing. He almost has, I agree with everything you've said, but he almost has an unfair advantage because he's played the character more than anyone, like massively disproportionate. Jack Nicholson, he's got a 2-hour movie. That's it, done. There is hours and hours and hours of voice work for Mark Hamill. Then you've got the games, but just from me, from a personal point of view, like I've spent just on the Arkham series games, what, 300 hours, 400 hours playing those games, replaying them, doing the platinums, where all I'm hearing is that, and I'm totally gripped by, because gaming's a very immersive experience, as you know. If anyone at games, and especially has played those games in particular, you know, you're absolutely immersed in that world, and you're hearing that voice, and then you've got it in the animated series and whatnot, and then all the films that he's continued to do right up until, you know, just a few years ago. So he probably has an unfair advantage over all the other actors that have played him. But yeah, for me, if someone says to me, right, listen, imagine the Joker saying this in your head, I don't think of Jack Nicholson, I don't think of Heath Ledger, I imagine Mark Hamill. So, like, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Paul, Mark Hamill.
You have covered it. Yes. I can't add nothing else. The Arkham thing was where I was going to go. I grew up as a kid watching that Batman animated series is so special to me. I can't put into words or say to people how much I love that show. And people are like, it's a fucking cartoon. Like, you just don't understand
Still
how much
great,
that show.
it's still
You
good
don't.
to
Yeah,
watch.
people don't understand how much that
Holds up.
show means to me, man. But you guys probably do because you love it. It's the same as me. But you know, if I was to go to like, even this is like fucking, this show's amazing. It's like, it's a fucking Batman cartoon. Get out of here. But I've heard like you said, I've heard that voice so many times. I, like Andy just said, I say that, you know, say this in a Joker's voice, I'll go to Mark Hamill. And then as I got older into an adult, I had it again with the Arkham games. And like you, I've put hours and hours into it. I've replayed them over and over again. That trilogy of games to me is just as special for me as a Batman fan as the animated series. And so to hear his voice again throughout them games is just legendary. He's even done voices for like modern DC animated movies, reprised his role again. For a couple of the DC animated stuff. So yeah, he's my definitive Joker, and he always, I was going to say he always will be, but someone might do it better. But for now, he's my definitive Joker.
Yeah. So our next one is Heath Ledger. So this has to be right. The Dark Knight isn't like, I do fall into a trap sometimes of like, I go against the Dark Knight sometimes, against my proper judgment, just because I just think we've got way more to offer in the Batman universe as a whole. But the Dark Knight, one thing about that film that cannot be disputed in any way, no matter whether you're a Batman fan, not a Batman fan, give a shit, don't give a shit, is that has got one of the best performances of the last 20 years in Heath Ledger's Joker, 100%. Not necessarily because he's playing the definitive Joker and he's got it all comic book accurately, because it ain't. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the version he's deciding to play is absolutely nothing short of phenomenal. And, you know, it was that good that it got into the man's fucking psyche that much. You know what I mean? It was like, I just think, for me, this is another thing of like, this is the best part of The Dark Knight, is Heath Ledger's performance. And it's a bit of a shame that he's not in it more, that he doesn't get more screen time. I don't think he's actually got that much screen time. I think when you tot it all up, there's about 15, 16 minutes worth of screen time. It's insane. But he makes that much of an impression on the movie. I was
going to say, yeah.
That like
makes it feel longer.
That's all you like. You think about coming out of the film, and I just think there was a lot of clever choices to do with this performance and his like sort of introduction in this film, with where he comes into the kitchen with the bosses and stuff. It's just absolutely sublime. If I'm going to rank Heath Ledger, I'll put him in S. Of course, I'm going to put him in S, but I'm going to put him behind Mark Hamill. Definitively. I don't think he's the best Joker we've had, but I do think it's one of the best performances we've had in any Batman film. But yeah, Andy, what says you? Heath Ledger, where are we ranking this one?
Yeah, kind of the same. I just think he's awesome in that film, and that film's not the same film without him in that role, with putting in that performance. It's an S tier performance. Is it an S tier Joker for me?
Yeah, that's the question, man.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. But it's still high up. You know, like, he is funny. There are funny elements to it. There's a lot of kind of physical comedy from Heath Ledger, I think. He's funny, like, because usually what he's saying is actually just very, you know, savage observations on society is usually what he's really into Batman. He's trying to get under Batman's skin. He's never really trying to be funny. He's funny in going about his business, you know, in the silly ways that, like, the flippant way that he can't get the detonator to work, you know, and it's like proper silent comedy, like body comedy, you know, as opposed to actually delivering a line. Although he does have funny lines as well, you know, like the delivery of the ta-da, like the first disappearing. Like he is good, but he's a Nolan Joker. He's only going to be so funny because he doesn't have huge amounts of comedy in his film. Perfect for The Dark Knight. S-tier performance, I would say A, even B. That might sound really harsh, but just for me personally, I don't put The Dark Knight on to watch Heath Ledger. I don't watch the Joker scenes, to be honest. I tend to watch the action sequences, but that's me because I'm an action junkie. But I don't actually really watch. Other than the interrogation scene is good, but I don't particularly watch many of the Joker scenes.
But if you were going to put him in A, would you put him above Jack Nicholson or below?
No, but that's just because, below Jack Nicholson. But it's personal, isn't it? Like I'm not going to be too critical here. I just think I've always thought the whole thing is a little bit overrated. Like I think like he's an essential part of the movie, but there's so many other great parts to that movie. It's an amazing cast. I don't think Bale gets enough credit for his. I don't think it's the same film without him as Batman. You know, so
Aaron Eckhart's the underperformance in that film.
Weak link, potentially the weak link.
Yeah. But Paul, what are your thoughts and opinions on Heath Ledger?
Yeah, I'm sort of like you, Ellis. I sort of push back against this film now and again in my head where I'm like, is it as good?
Yeah, I know.
As, do you know what I mean? And then I'll watch it, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking amazing. What am I talking about? It's weird. It's so weird. I do have quite a few films you I'm like, is it fucking amazing? Like, everyone's like, I was thinking, and then I'll watch it, like, yeah, it is. Just have to reiterate myself a bit. It's... For me, this is the Joker of the 21st century. For me, it's the Batman, the Nolan Batman film sort of reinvigorated my love for the character. I've always been a massive Batman fan, but it wasn't until them films. It's my fandom of it sort of died off with Batman and Robin a little bit, and then I was sort of like still reading a bit of the comics. I was still keeping me finger on the pulse with Batman, and then them films hit, and I'm fucking Batman. Batman's cool again. And Heath Ledger makes the Joker cool in that film. Like, he's cool to watch.
Yeah.
And everything he does in the films is amazing. The Dark Knight, his introduction, that fucking prologue, man, is one of my favorite scenes in films that I've seen ever. Like, it's one of my favorite intros to a film ever. Like that prologue bank robbery heist bit, and I think he's awesome in that. But like Andy said, he's sort of such a, and so the whole film's, he's an amazing person in an amazing film. It's hard. I'm rambling on. I think he's A.
I think he is well. I know I said B, which was a bit.
Is he though?
Oh, fucking hell! I thought this was going to be a slam dunk S, so I'm shocked. I wish I came in a bit more heavy now with my take on him, but
it's hard.
Nobody would criticise you for putting him in S, but I wouldn't. I'd have him in A.
It's gonna be crazy that animated characters the only one in S.
But the only one that's won an Oscar for playing him was like fucking flirting with B.
Yeah. No, I do think he's an S Joker. I feel like I'm doing what I do with the film, sort of trying to push back against it, and in my head I'm like, now what am I talking about? He's like the best part of the movie for me. He's what makes that film. He is what made that film as good as it is. It's the one. That's why it's the one that stands out the most. So I'd probably go S, but he's not as good as Mark Hamill. Like I said, he's my definitive Joker, but I think he is better than Jack Nicholson. I do prefer The Dark Knight to Batman '89 as well. So, which, you know, I said that in our sort of talk of the Batman films, Ellis. So.
Yeah, if I could put him in the middle there between A and S,
A plus.
Yeah. Should we go A plus? Let's leave it A plus because we might get some spicy comments about this one when we revisit the stream. But because Andy, you were going to go B, mate. Do you know what I mean? So
I wasn't. I was never going to go full B. But I was just trying to
not full B.
Trying to counterbalance.
B plus.
I'm just trying to say, like, see, it depends what you want, right? Like, he's not. Nolan is a somewhat drab filmmaker. He makes epic films, but everything he does is grounded and meticulous and realistic. And it's hard for a Joker to shine in that world because he's made the most realistic Batman films ever. And the Joker is a larger than life character, or the majority of his interpretations are that he's larger than life, colourful, funny, zany, crazy.
Yeah.
And he is all those things in Nolan, but he's Nolan's version of that, which is like dimmed down, you know. So it's like depends what you want. I just like a little bit more slapstick, a little bit more fire. Like
I do.
And there are really intense scenes, like I said already, the interrogation one, and there are moments when he's funny, but he's more scary. He's more like he's like he's like you said, he's the 21st century version. He's an agent of chaos, as he says himself. He's like someone to be proper feared. Nolan made him into someone that we should, you know, he let us see the Joker, at least in live action, as someone that you should be fucking scared of, like properly scared of. He's not someone that's funny at all. He's terrifying, and that's great. That's not really it's not what I want from the Joker personally, but I do appreciate it, and I love the Dark Knight. But so I think that's why if I'm going to watch a Joker performance, I'm putting on Batman '89 because it's funnier. It's just more entertaining, you know.
Yeah.
Than Heath Ledger's is. But Heath Ledger's was amazing at what he did. He absolutely delivered on the brief, and that's why that film is what it is.
I think maybe when it comes to the comedy with Heath Ledger as well, I think some of that comedy is injected in how aggressive he is. So in that opening scene with the pencil, do you know what I mean? So like you don't know where that's going with the pencil when you first watch that film, and it's sort of like shockingly funny after. It's like, oh my god, do you know what I mean? Like what the hell just happened there?
It's great because I'd say like Mark Hamill's version of the Joker, Rocksteady's version of the Joker is a very much mix of Mark Hamill's animated Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah,
right, sort of amalgamation of both of them, sort of slightly. I don't know if it might be. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think whether they liked it or not, maybe even like it's somewhat the Dark Knight is such a massive thing. Like the Nolan trilogy is such a massive thing that it maybe influenced. Even Mark
Not
Hamill,
even that what I'm trying to say. I'm more trying to say that I think the Mark Hamill sort of the Rocksteady version of Joker is a more definitive Joker than the Heath Ledger one, because that's skating the line of the more grounded and the comic version.
It's almost showing you what could be in a live action take. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm happy with A.
We'll go A. Right, next
could be
one.
Tomorrow.
Next one is Jared Leto. Right. What I'm going to say is here, like when this image first came out and people lost their minds about it, I was at home with my partner going, no, it's going to be good. It's going to be all right. I can feel something different about this. I wasn't blown away from the tattoos, but that image right there where he's got his hands on his head like that. I loved that image when it first come out. The tattoos did throw me off. But I was like, oh, this could be really interesting. He looks like a really psychotic Joker that we're about to get. That might have some of the campiness in it as well, Andy. But that isn't what we got at all. It's for me, I would take, if I was going to change anything, I would just change the tattoo sort of crack with the Joker. I just don't think it works whatsoever. Like, I know we're beating a bush about this one, but like, I can't. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me at all. Love the teeth. Absolutely love the teeth. The backstory that goes with the teeth is awesome. The fact that it's Batman who's punched his fucking teeth out, so that's why he's got this new grill in. I absolutely love that. But yeah, I think if we'd have seen the proper David Ayer cut of this film and it kept with that tone of the first film, and to be honest, guys, if he was in the film more, because I think it's a little bit, it's an almost glorified cameo, this film, this take on the Joker in Suicide Squad. It's annoying as well, because one thing I always want with my Jokers is the Ace Chemicals factor of it. Like that factor of Ace Chemicals just does it for me when we're talking about Joker and the character and his origin story. But they do that in here. They show you him going the chemicals with Margot Robbie.
I love that scene as well, by the way.
Fucking love it, Paul.
I think it's
I
quite
love
powerful.
I love the song that plays over it and everything.
It's a great sequence, that whole thing, and I just wish we got more of it. You know, like, so before Suicide Squad come out, there was a lot of footage, behind the scenes footage of that bit, you know, where he's got her on the hospital bed and he's got the light in her face and he's doing all that. Yeah, doing that. There's way more of that sitting on the cutting room floor. Way more of that sequence. We get hardly anything.
The bit with the grenade as well, when he goes bye-bye. Throws a grenade. That's not in the film. There's loads of stuff that we've seen that's not in the film.
Like, his look gets better throughout the film. So when he ends up at the end and he's got the black and white suit on, he's got that Tommy gun just shooting out the. I love all that stuff. I love all that stuff. It's just the unfortunate thing with Leto is just that he's wrapped up in a sort of. I know you guys like it, but a subpar film to what we were originally going to get with that first Comic Con trailer. But if I was going to rank him, I tell you what, take the tattoos off. I'll put him in B.
Okay.
I just don't think I don't think we've even seen enough of him to put him anywhere higher than C. And it's not it's not a slight on Jared Leto's version. It's just remember he was raging about it. Remember he was all over social media.
Yeah.
Raging about the fact that he felt he'd been done a dirty because his understanding was he was going to be in that film a lot more than he ended up being. So I felt a bit sorry for him in that regard. But I kind of agree with what you're saying though. Like I don't think I've never really understood why people have been so upset about the aesthetic of him. Like, again, I'm one that's like, you've got to be different, right? I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's my definitive or anything, but it's memorable. Whether you like it or not, it's memorable because it's different. You know, the tattoos, the metal teeth, all that. It's quite. Is it maybe the most sinister one looking? Maybe not. Maybe like there's something evil looking about it, really gnarly about it, nasty. And the whole idea of him being more of a gangster, because we don't get that in any other, like maybe in the old one, because I suppose Jack Napier was a gangster, but this one it's like he's got a crew of hoods, and he's a proper, you know, it's he's a criminal. He's a kind of established criminal. In this one it seems, but I liked it all. I just felt I just felt we didn't actually get to see all of it. We just got a little bit, and when you seen what little there was of it, it wasn't enough to kind of understand the interpretation. So
I do like that aspect of him, about having like a crew with him. Like, that is one aspect. He's more of a gangster in this one, which I do appreciate. You are right there, Andy, because like with Heath Ledger, he just felt like a one-man band sort of thing. Like, it shows you right at the start that anyone he works with is disregardable. Do you know what I mean? Like with that bank robbery sort of thing when they all take each other out. But like
it kind of works, I think, in The Dark Knight, because like he's supposed to be this agent of chaos, and the way he's portrayed in The Dark Knight, I don't believe that he's capable of actually working with anyone like for any length of time before they would be like, because what happens at the beginning, isn't it? They start like this in the prologue, they slowly start to realize this guy's crazy, like he's just going to kill us all off. Like, so I don't think any interactions he'd have with any potential crew members, Heath Ledger's version, would last longer than a day. You know, whereas in the Suicide Squad one, it makes you think, well, how mental is he then? Because if he's got a crew that are loyal to him, there must be give or take that he's not all the way crazy, you know, like, so it's got pros and cons that I think he can take away from his psyche.
Where would you rank him?
C, just because I don't think we didn't see enough.
That's
but
fair.
I do think he's underrated. Underrated is not the word. I think he's a misunderstood interpretation that doesn't deserve the hate he gets, I think.
Yeah. Paul, Jared Leto?
Yeah, I'll try and keep it brief. I think him coming off the Heath Ledger was a big put the wall up against him. That everyone's like, fucking yeah. So I'm like, he's not going to be as good as Heath Ledger. I quite like Jared Leto as an actor, and I think he was quite a good choice for the character. I did like that photo when it come out. Like you, I was like, oh, yeah, that's something different I haven't seen before. Yeah. I think his interpretation of the character suits that film. I think he fits in that film. I think him and Margot Robbie together, when they look together, they sort of look like they should be together. So it sort of fits. Yeah. I do like that idea that he is sort of like a hood gangster and he has all these boys with him and stuff like that. I think that's quite modernized. It's just, for me, when it comes down to it, it's not, when I think of the Joker or when I've read Joker in the books or stuff like that, it's just not the version. It's not a version of the Joker that sort of works for me. But I think, yeah, like you said, we didn't see enough of him. There's a lot more that he did that we didn't see, and I would have liked to have seen that version. Yeah, I'd probably go C as well, to be fair.
I can't remember ever laughing at any scene that he was in, which is kind of criminal when you're
He's like you said, though. He was like you said, he's very like sinister, and he's almost like dirty. Weird. He's like he's like stroking people's faces and shit. Like
yeah, he's got one guy strapped down, hasn't he? And he's like stroking the face. Looks like he's gonna
yeah, he's weird.
But all right, guys, we'll put Jared Leto in C. Right, next one's a bit of a funny one, really. We've got Joaquin Phoenix. So, great performance, terrible Joker.
Yeah.
Now, it's a weird one saying that, because I always thought, like, when Joker was coming out and I was trying to just piece everything together in my head and what was going on, we didn't know Barry Keoghan was going to be the Joker for the Batman at that point. I was like, what? Could they not just like sort of retroactively sort of put Joaquin Phoenix as Robert Pattinson's Joker? Because I think aesthetically they would, like, I think the Gotham in Joker doesn't look that far away from what Gotham in Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves' Gotham would look like in 10, 20 years or whatever. And I thought we could have just had an older Joker. But anyway, the one thing that totally rips that out, the flaw underneath it, is that this ain't a smart Joker. And one thing you cannot say about the Joker is that he isn't smart. He's so smart. He is a genius. You know what I mean? He is, to have Batman as his nemesis, he has to be this maniacal genius. Do you know what I mean? Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is just ill. Like, he sort of retroactively made into the Joker, like, by the riots going on outside, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? They prop him up as this icon sort of thing. To me, Joker is more of like, it's a looking at this guy's mental health. He's not well. There's no way that this Joker is doing the bank robbery at the start of Dark Knight. Do you know what I mean? Like, that ain't happening. So I find it hard where to rank him in like the Joker list. Do you know what I mean? It's like Heath Ledger's performance is awesome, but is he necessarily the best Joker? Like this, Joaquin Phoenix's performance is awesome, but there almost is no Joker here, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But I'd struggle with this one a little bit. I'd put him in S just because of Joaquin Phoenix's performance, but then Heath Ledger had a mint performance as well. So I'm stuck on this one. I have no idea where to rank him. Paul, what do you think on this one?
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix
Joker, isn't it?
Because he's so different from the rest of it.
You know, it's crazy. We don't even really see him as the Joker for like the last 15 minutes of the film. I think once the second one comes out, we'll have more of a gauge of how much. I think we'll see more of his Joker side in that one. Yeah, this is hard. You've covered the basis on it. It is a film. It's a character study film on mental health and how society brings you down and stuff like that. There's a lot of messages in that movie. But when you think of the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix of the Joker, maybe a bit when he's in the on the TV show, I sort of get it a bit in that. He looks cool as hell having a cigarette. He always makes me want a cigarette every time I see him. Yeah. That slow walk, he's like, looks cool as hell.
It's a bad one if you're quitting that film.
Yeah. It is hard. the performance is fantastic, like you said. I'd probably go A. I mean, did he won an Oscar for this? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So he won an Oscar for this as well.
I said it was only, but you're right. I think he actually won as well, didn't he?
Yeah. So I've got to give him. I can't put him in B if he's got an Oscar for playing the Joker.
No.
So I'm going to go A.
Yeah, I'll go A as well. Tarek made a good point there, saying the best way to look at Joker is by it not being the Joker that we all know. That film was made, and then all the DC stuff was thrown in afterwards. I feel that way anyway. Yeah, I'm in total agreement there, definitely. But Andy, what do you think about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker? Like, where are we ranking? Like, are we ranking the performance here? Are we ranking the character? Like, it's a bit of a head fuck.
Yeah, it is a difficult one to categorize because it's like there's even the argument that he's not even Joker. The people say that he's not. He's like a kind of. He's not actually the Joker. He's
the
Arthur Fleck. So there's that argument, but like, I'm not an aficionado on Joker's history anyway, like origin. But I would say, like out of all of them, he has the most difficult job here because he's the lead. He's the sole lead of this movie. The movie's called Joker for a start, so he's not like
relying on
Batman. Best actor for it. Didn't win best supporting actor. You know, again, Jack Nicholson. All right, he's like top bill in that movie because he was huge at the time. But you know, he's co-leading with Batman at the end of the day. But he's in pretty much every scene in this. He's the only Joker who's relatable. Like, I think, like, what other Joker makes you feel sorry for him? Like, you feel sorry for this Joker. That's largely due to the subject and the script. Like you say, it's a different kind of film to, you know, what we'd seen him in the past. But yeah, I think it's between an S and an A here because it's it's not the definitive. I don't think he'll be the definitive Joker for most DC fans. I think he might be the definitive Joker for people who aren't necessarily big superhero fans.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Because he's the kind of outside Elseworld version. But I think he's fantastic. You know, he's not as funny, and when he is funny, it's kind of hard, cringy to laugh because it's usually like
you're laughing at him.
He's having a mental health breakdown, and you're kind of. But the way he's doing it on screen, which is credit to Joaquin Phoenix for portraying it that way, because I'm sure it is supposed to be funny, but you feel conflicted laughing at it because, like you say, you're laughing at him somewhat and not along with him. But the transformation, you know, and the kind of physical embodiment of it that he goes through, and the way he makes you feel sympathy for him. I've seen a great piece on this on YouTube where it was like someone's saying what was wrong with society and everything. It was kind of saying like, there's no one who watches that film who isn't absolutely ready for De Niro to be shot in the head. Like, when like, you want that to happen. Like, he's an innocent man at the end of the day, really. Yeah, we all can't wait to fucking see him shoot him in the head. I mean, it's satisfying, and that's why the film is so amazing because it kind of like almost turns you into like an anti-hero as you're watching it.
What's that sort of line that's in the film, sort of graffitied up on the wall, something about mental health? It's sort of like the thing with mental health is people don't want to talk about it or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Some paraphrasing a bit, but I love that line. I love that that statement in the film. I'm like, shit, that's powerful.
The thing about health is no one believes you're mad. No one believes you're mad or something.
The worst part of having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't.
Yeah, that's some powerful shit, that one.
Yeah, man. And I tell you what, guys, like, just like, I don't go out my ways to watch films about mental health, but I feel like it deals with mental health so well. Definitely, like.
Well, it's sort of like if we took the Joker as a character and really grounded that character. This is how he got to how he is. It is mental health that's driving him like this. If we really break down the character of the Joker from any iteration of it.
It's interesting because I took on board what you said, Ellis, about you can't imagine this guy. You know, he's ill. He's not going to be capable of being a criminal mastermind and stuff. I kind of disagree to an extent because I think you were touching on it there, Paul, is like the Joker's strength and what makes him an equal, or this is an argument I would say you could look at it this way, an argument to Batman's intellect. and like physical prowess and all that and drivenness, is that he is so mentally ill, and he's ill, he's disturbed from everything that's happened, but through somewhere along his journey, he's learned to harness that negativity, and then he uses it. Like, whereas most people will crumble, end up in asylums, end up doing themselves in, whatever, he's harnessed it, and that's what gives him the edge. And the Joker at the end of this film is just at that point where he's like, and I think in the second one, that's when you're going to see him like start to feel this is an advantage, because like,
yeah, man,
I've got all these issues, but I'm willing to use them like for my own gain, regardless of what damage it does, and that's what gives me power over everyone else, because I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm chaos, like embodied. So I think like this,
getting me giddy again, Andy. You're getting me giddy.
Through the beginning of this film, yes, he's not capable of because he's still trying to be a good person, but he gives up on that eventually. He gives up on it. But and it is a film about mental health, but it's negative, and that anyone who does have some of the issues that they feel they can relate to some of the issues that Arthur Fleck has, doesn't give you much hope, does it? Like
absolutely not.
End, there's nothing fucking hopeful happens to this guy. Like there's loads of opportunities for people in the film to kind of jump in and help him. Nobody does, and he ends up like fucking.
I mean, I think the sad tragic of the film is by the end he does think it's gone to his advantage, because he feels like the whole city's with him by the end of the film.
Yeah.
So he feels like
they're with him in the second one as well.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was going to wait. I was going to wait to watch Joker a bit closer to the second one, but I feel like I need to rewatch it this weekend, maybe.
I'm feeling it, yeah, man.
It's a hard film to watch, but it's good. It's one of those films
it's powerful. I think
it's powerful, so it kind of sucks you in. But it's I've kind of hyped myself. I've kind of got myself hyped up for it as well, just talking about it. So I think I need to watch. I just noticed you've got a poster of it up there as well. Is that a Joker poster you've got?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I definitely want that new one, man. That new one they just released. I know people were kicking off about it, saying it's not very good. I loved it. I know it's quite minimal, but it just harkens back to the Joker poster of the first movie. Looks awesome, man. But right, so guys, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it there because we've been going an hour and a half. Bloody hell, guys! It's been
2 hours and a half.
Oh shit! 2 hours and a half. Right. Right. Anyway, guys. Yeah. No, I'm bloody not. I'm off this week. I'm going straight back to watch Fallout after this. But
I'm going to watch the Joker.
Yeah. But thanks for coming on, guys. We've got a couple of things up on the channel at the moment to check out. A couple of trailer reactions. Got a Joker 2 trailer reaction going up there, and hopefully over the weekend I'll have a Civil War review up. And if I'm feeling spicy, and if this Fallout series ends pretty good tonight, I'll have a review out by the weekend. But yeah, folks, we'll be back not next week, but the week after that. Boys, do you want to say anything? Do you want to plug anything? Got anything coming up?
I mean, I haven't.
I've still kind of AWOL on my channel, so just in case any avid subscribers are watching, like, I'm coming back, but I've just been so busy with work and stuff, and I just want to hold off until I can come back proper. So apologies for anyone that thought the Abyss review was coming last week. I didn't get around to it. I'm going to still do that review. But
have you seen it, by the way? Have you put it on? Have you checked out any of?
Yeah. I've actually done part of it. I've done a lot of the prep for the video,
right?
And then just kind of ran out of time again. But I've done a lot.
Looks
of
awesome.
Hero technical stuff.
Looks great.
Yeah, it does. I enjoyed the movie as well, And interestingly, I watched the theatrical cut this time because I'd seen the director's cut.
Yeah, I've only seen the director's cut.
It's amazing how much it doesn't make sense watching the.
Right.
It's one of those films that genuinely does benefit from the
directors,
from having a director's cut. It's not just a lip service one. It's a genuinely different film when you watch it.
Yeah, man. Anyway,
so I will be back. Anyone who's watching.
Cool, man. Right, we're going to end it there. I need to go for a wee-wee. Right, not next week, week after. Bye-bye, folks. Thanks for watching.
Take it easy.
Folks. Cheers, guys. See you.